You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, on a Thursday. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And oh my, the Sacramento Kings. The first time we have seen the Sacramento Kings since the play-in where they lost to the Mavericks. A couple different faces in the building, a couple different names on the roster, but some things never change. And it's a shooter's arena, that Golden One Center, and the Raptors did just that. The Kings unable to take care of business. They lose 130 to 122. Felt like for a good bit of the game, they were down double digits, even upwards of 20 points, as really you could make the storyline, if you want to give the Kings an out, you can make the storyline about the Raptors and how Kyle Ledbetter, who's behind the glass for us today, as always, Kyle Ledbetter was onto something with the Raptors being pesky. They will definitely be sick. They will definitely be pesky in the East. That's my first Murray Boyles. That's my first takeaway. They're gonna be pretty solid. And Brandon Ingram, I don't know how long the list is right now for players that absolutely kill the Kings. But if Brandon Ingram isn't universally on that list, I know CJ McCollum is first team all Kings killer. Brandon Ingram got to be up there too. That dude, I mean, the whole thing is, hey, he doesn't take enough threes. He doesn't stretch the floor. He doesn't pass well enough. Brandon Ingram becomes everything that everyone wanted him to be every time he plays the Kings. He's shooting threes. He's distributing the basketball every single time. So that's just what Brandon Ingram does. As far as the rest of the Raptors, they had some good moments. They did. And obviously we're going to spend a ton of time talking about the Kings and overreacting. We are going to overreact to the first preseason game. Because what else are we supposed to do? Okay?
Not do that?
No. That's not what we do here on the Allen Stiles Show. We are going to overreact. And you know what? It would be impossible to overreact if they gave a performance where we couldn't overreact. But when you play a game the way the Kings played that last game, you can overreact. You're giving Allen the ability to overreact. When you let a team shoot, what was it? Let me see here. Oh, my goodness. 54% from three. My goodness. When you let a team shoot 54% from three, that's when, it's just preseason. Well, this is something we've seen before. I saw Doug Christie say they only picked up 94 feet. You know, we had the list of things we wanted to see. All-star Dennis Schroeder, I did not see that. Somebody said, do you think Dennis Schroeder might still be a little gas from Eurobasket? I think that's a good shout. I did not see the 94 feet. Doug Christie said that the Kings picked up 30% of the time, 94 feet. I didn't see it at all. I'm going to be completely honest with you. To be fair, I was on baby number 2 duty, so I was feeding her at one point. So maybe I missed that 30%. But I did not see the Kings picking up 94 feet. Domantas Sabonis, we have sound from him. That's not what we looked like in training camp. Somebody else said, well, that's because you're facing the Kings defense during training camp, not actual defenders. And the Raptors look great. Like I said, defensively, I saw the idea that the Raptors were doing everything that the Kings were supposed to do defensively. And as we go through training camp, that's been the whole thing. Can you teach old dogs new tricks? In a way that you can. Because Zach LaVine, because we're not going to be all negative on this show. We keep it real. And there were some positive takeaways and there were some real negative takeaways. But Zach LaVine looked very motivated defensively. That's one thing I will say, because obviously we're going to go, and I saw Dave's clip from earlier in the show. I was in the chat earlier around 6 a.m. before my shift ended with baby number 2. I was in the chat earlier, and then later, after I took a little mini nap, I saw Dave say the same thing. I wish they would just go with the young guys and just let them run and win 25 games. I hear you, and a lot of people do agree with that. But I do want to spend some, so it's easy to talk about the positives from the young guys. And we're going to spend some time on the Dylan Cardwells of the world, the Nick Cliffords of the world. Obviously, Nick Clifford is an NBA player. There's no doubt about it. But from the vets who nobody seems to care about, and I understand why, but from the vet point of view, you can still find some positive there. They're not a lot. They're not a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. But the number one thing that I saw, and we know because he's such a twitchy athlete on the offensive end, Zach LaVine defensively looked as if he could contend. I'm not saying he's going to be all defense or anything like that, but he looked like he was giving, back in the day when you know, defense is just effort, right? That was a level of effort, plus the fact that Zach LaVine is probably in the 5% of best athletes in the world. Maybe smaller than 5%. And that's what we saw last night defensively. So it's not going to be all doom and gloom. It was bad. It was, I don't know, can a preseason game be embarrassing? I don't think so. But it's not what we all wanted to see. And I will also go here. I'm done with the talk. I know I talk for 4 hours every day, technically 4 hours, 15 minutes, as Kyle reminded me. I got to talk to my boss man about that. I'm just kidding. But 4 hours, 15 minutes a day, right? Then I got to go home and give an earful to my wife about whatever else. I meant to get to this on the show. Then I'm talking to my kids, and they don't even know what I'm talking about. But when it comes to what the Kings did and what we thought they were going to be able to do, I'm done with the talk, man. I know it sounds rich coming from me because all I do is talk all day, but I'm done with the talk, right? I don't care about and we have Christie's cuts that we'll go to. We don't have it today, but we have some audio. You know what, man? The 94 feet, the new identity, I just want to see it. How about that?
We do not care.
I'm done. I'm done. Anybody can say the right thing. I always talk about that boss that I used to have that said, I'm sorry for cutting you guys off when you're talking. I know, I'm working on it. And then he continues to do it, right? I still talk to him to this day, by the way. He lives in SF. He might even be listening to the show. He knows who he is. And he wouldn't disagree because I always told him. But I'm done, man. I am going to wait and see all this stuff. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. That was only the first preseason game. And Rome wasn't built in a day. But the Kings got 2 more weeks. So how long did it take to build Rome? It wasn't built in a day. Was it built in 2 weeks? Because that's what the Kings got left.
It was a long rebuild in Rome.
That's what the Kings got left. And the idea that they had been playing with each other down south in LA so much, playing together, getting used to each other. I think personally, I probably had my hopes up a little too much. I think I drove the hopium a little too high. Now, Kevin Pelton, who we're going to discuss his projected wins for the Kings, there is a little bit of hopium left there. And I'm not going to go completely in the other direction. I just wanted to see them come out and punch someone in the mouth. I wanted to see them Draymond Green someone. That's what I wanted to see. And obviously not literally, but from a basketball, Draymond didn't.
Light the beam! Light it!
Figuratively, I wanted to see them Draymond Green someone. This is a young team, the Raptors. You're coming into our hood. We got golden one. We're showing beams even if it's preseason. Let's show everybody what we got. Let's do that. I see Vincent Ramirez on the Sac Chat. That's a great call, Vincent. Keegan was extremely aggressive. That's another thing as far as the vets are concerned. Because it's easy to talk about because it's Summer League, right? That second half, that fourth quarter, that was just a Summer League crew playing a Summer League game because it was the backups for both teams and more than the backups. So, yeah, we can feel good about it. And I think Dylan Cardwell did look really good. Nick Clifford was playing with the starters and in that rotation. So Nick is on a different level. Maxime Reynaud didn't get a lot of time. We didn't see Devin Carter until the second half. So the youngins, I'm not taking anything away from the youngins. They gave me a reason not to turn it off. Right? They gave me a reason not to turn it off. But I want to focus on the guys that are actually going to play. I was going to say at a high level. They're going to play high minutes. I don't know if it's going to be at a high level or not.
The guys who will play.
Yes. And I'm not, like I said, the hopium is not totally gone. I just was a little let down. And I think that's okay. I'm not sitting here proclaiming, look, I'm the same guy that said there is a world where this Kings team sneaks into the 8th seed. I said that less than 48 hours ago. And I still believe it. But it was a letdown last night. And the only reason it was a letdown is because all the talking, all the jibber-jabbing. And that's what they're supposed to do. This is no different than any other training camp. But all the talk about, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's not about winning or losing the game. We just didn't see it. Whether or not you make shots, you can't control. We're going to pick up 94 feet. Okay, cool. Game starts. They did not pick up 94 feet. It's very simple. It's not about the game. It's not about overreacting to a win or a loss. They just told us stuff and then didn't do it. That's what I'm confused about.
Well, according to Doug, technically they did it 30% of the time.
I did not. Doug, I must have been cleaning a diaper, brother, because I did not see 30%.
He said they were trying to go 85% was the goal, and they got to 30.
I did not see 30%. I must have been cleaning a diaper or feeding the baby because I missed it. I must have blinked, and I missed it. 916-339-1140. Phone lines are open all day. You can talk me off a cliff, or you can figuratively push me off as well if you feel the same way. First preseason game, and I'm being very open about it. I'm overreacting because that's just what I do. And I'm not overreacting to the fact that the Kings lost. I'm overreacting to the fact that they did not do what they told us this whole time they were going to do. So that's what I am confused more so, and I'm let down more so than overreacting to the fact that the Kings lost to the Toronto Raptors, who, to Kyle's point, they are going to be pesky. They are going to be a pesky group. I'll wear that. What was it? 38 wins?
38 and a half.
Yeah, 38 and a half. Yeah, that sounds in the East. I can see that with the Raptors. They looked good. RJ Barrett, obviously Brandon Ingram. But again, does Brandon Ingram look like that all season or only when he faces the Kings? He turns into mini Kevin Durant against the Kings. That's what he does.
So this is kind of the funny thing I was thinking about is which player is better when they have open shots? Is it RJ Barrett or Brandon Ingram? Because they're like both the same player, right? Whenever they get open shots, they just kill it.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what we saw all game long. There are a lot of positives, of course, the youngsters to get to, and we will get to all that. Throughout the show, we are going to make you feel good about the Kings. We're going to make you feel not so good about the Kings, because that's probably how you should feel, and we are here to make you feel something. And Chris Watkins is going to join us at 12 o'clock. Chris will be in the building, and, Chris is the classic, hey, let's not overreact person. So I think that'll be a good balance at 12. And I want to know, because Chris's take might be, Allen, I don't know where you got these expectations anyway. So we're going to talk to Chris at 12 o'clock and see what he thinks about everything that we just watched. Because the other part of this is, who do they have? I believe they have the Clippers next. To me, the Blazers, and that's another good one. The Blazers lost, because I had the multi-view going. The Blazers lost to the Warriors. And we talked yesterday about preseasons and how confusing they are. The other part of this is that the Kings look like they were at least trying from a rotation standpoint. These guys, and we're going to read off the box score on the other side here. You're in the middle of a 30-minute commercial-free run for your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports 1140. But we got the box score coming up, but these guys were playing 20-plus minutes. They looked like they at least were trying in the first half. That's the crazy part. The second half, right, and obviously the fourth quarter, whatever, which is when they actually pulled the game closer. But they looked like they were trying. That's what has me tripped out. 916-339-1140. So this is why I told y'all to keep the hopium while you can. Because once they take the floor, we don't know what's going to happen. We have takeaways from last night. Like I said, Kevin Pelton's projected wins. Overreaction Thursday. Some people want to blow it up. Cough, cough, Carmichael Dave. I have to admit another thing. And this is a huge day for me. I'm telling Kyle, hey, you were right about the Raptors. At least last night, they looked pesky. And the thing is, they compete defensively. If you can get young guys, and I know they're not extremely young with RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram. They're not terribly young, but they got some young dudes. But if you can get a younger team to compete defensively, you're already winning. You are already winning. Now you just have to figure out the offensive standpoint. But I'm watching last night, and I still wouldn't give up Devin Carter for him, or obviously Malik Monk. But I'm watching last night, and I thought to myself, and I said on social media, okay, I think I get the Westbrook thing. I think I get the Russell Westbrook thing now. And here's the other side of it. Because Malik Monk is not handling the basketball very much. I don't know that I saw one two-man game with Domantas Sabonis. Again, cleaning diapers. And I'm not just cleaning diapers throughout the whole game, but maybe I missed something. I didn't initially see it. There was not a lot of Malik Monk going back to La Murray and the Athletic article when he had the starters and reserves. Malik Monk, to me, was not a backup point guard last night. So with that being said, and I think it might have been Matt George who pointed out that Keon and Malik were both in the backcourt, and Keon brought the ball up and initiated the offense. It wasn't Malik Monk. Now, that's just one possession, and Keon has done that before. But I think it goes to the larger point that they don't really have a backup point guard, or they don't want to give Malik. It didn't seem like it last night. We'll keep an eye on what they do tomorrow night. Doesn't seem like Malik is slotted in as the backup point guard. We saw Nick Clifford. He did a lot of playmaking. But I understand the Westbrook thing because they've essentially decided that Malik is not their straight-up backup point guard.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And by the way, Matt George also pointed out there were no DHOs with Sabonis specifically, with either Monk or whoever else they were running with. But it's almost like the Kings are in reverse. You know how Law Murray said they had a certain ranking when it came to the shooting guards versus their point guard play?
Yeah.
Like most teams usually build their wings around who the point guard is going to be. And the Kings almost do this in reverse, where like whoever the point guard is based on who's in the game at wing, right? So, right, if you have Levine and Monk with Nick Clifford, then all of a sudden Nick Clifford is handling the ball because you'd rather have Monk and Levine on the wings.
Right.
Usually it's like if you have your strong point guard, you can put defensive wings or alternate whatever. It's like who plays point guard is now indicative of who's on the floor at the wing positions.
Yeah, and it is it's only one game. It's only one preseason game. But again, this is based on what they told us, right? If they said, yeah, we're just going to try to figure things out, whatever, but there are specific things that they essentially told us to look for that they just did not cash in on. And we'll see if they're able to cash in on it in game number 2. That will be Friday against the Portland Trailblazers. And again, the Portland Trailblazers, they're so young. They're playing their guys, right? These guys, teams are playing. Teams are playing in the preseason. So that's the thing. It's not as if they're not indicative at all of the real basketball game. And again, these are the Raptors. They might be fighting for an East play-in spot. They're pesky, and I'll give Kyle that, set at 38 and a half wins. But, this is not the Pacer, even the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton. That's not what we're talking about here. So a lot of changes have happened throughout the offseason, and we are going to see what the Kings do next. We also have Major League Baseball updates as the Phillies find a way to scratch and claw and hang on for another game. The Yankees lose. We have that sound for you with Vlad Guerrero Jr., as well as our guy Big Poppy. Yankees lose. Sorry to Frankie Cardicelli. It's funny. We were supposed to have roundtable today. The Yankees lose, and all of a sudden Frankie says he can't make it. So, something about practice. I don't know, but Chris Watkins, he's going to be here, and he's going to join us at 12 o'clock. Also, an NFL Thursday and Prop Talk. I'll tell you what, and I was telling Kyle this, if we cook tonight, that will be surgical. I don't feel very good. Divisional games are always tough.
This one's also especially disgusting.
This is very, very tough. Jalen Hurts, one day they just decide not to throw it. The Giants are going to load the box, but could it be a Saquon revenge game? Jackson Dart looks like Michael Vick because he just doesn't really throw the ball right now, but the Eagles know that. Will they just play into it? This is, if you don't have to prop talk it tonight, I'd probably just wait for Sunday. This is a tough one.
This is the thing that sucks for Jackson Dart, right? Is like when you're a young quarterback getting your start, having the safety blanket helps so much. And Malik Neighbors' knee just exploded in his first game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like your safety blanket is gone and the team sucks. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like your offensive line is decent but not great. Scattaboo is just as fresh as you are coming in as a rookie.
Yeah.
It always sucks to be the Giants, but this especially sucks to be Jackson Dart.
Yeah, it is definitely. Look, I'm excited to watch because I want to see what happens. The Eagles, there's always drama around them. But as far as prop talk is concerned, very tough reads. Very tough reads today. I think you'd have to bang some unders if you want to walk away. Yeah, if you want to walk away with some cheese. But we're going to try that for you. That's going to be in the 1 o'clock hour. We also, as we are getting back on the positivity, are still giving away tickets to the Kings Thunder game, November 7th. And not only are we giving away tickets to that game, you're also going to get a stay at the Kimpton Sawyer. And that's where the players stay. You're going to get an opportunity to hang out there. You're also going to get $200 in gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending champions. That is coming up at 12 when Chris Watkins joins us. We will give you the secret keyword at that time. You're going to text it in and give yourself another chance at one of them. That'd probably be the highlight. It's still 2025. Okay, yeah, and I know I had a kid in all. But you go to the Kimpton, you get to go to a game, right? You get to have some top shelf beverages. That might be the highlight. Year's almost over in November. Bringing it up the rear, that could be the highlight of your year. That's how you go into 2026 on the right track. So that's coming up at 12 o'clock. You will have an opportunity to win something there. As we continue to break down what the Kings have done, this was a classic example of how every camp feels going into game one, right? Every camp, every training camp in the NBA feels good about what they're doing. Just like every NFL training camp, they feel like their quarterback is a guy. You know why? Because if you're a quarterback in the NFL, you're pretty good, objectively. Now you have to measure yourself against the other quarterbacks in the league. The same way the Kings have to measure themselves against the other teams, not only in the league, but in the West. So it's all fine and good when you're scrimmaging against each other, right? Every year, I don't know, the last time I watched Hard Knocks, it was the Cowboys, and I was convinced the Cowboys are going to win the whole thing because you see their training camp, you see the camaraderie, you think, man, this team's really got a shot at it. And I believe that was one of the years that might have been the year that Dak, when Zeke ended up being the center and the time ran out. That might have been that year. It was one of the years where I think they lost to the Niners in the playoffs.
It was a McCarthy year.
Yes, and I was convinced. That's what training camp does. It gives you hope. And then you hope that they could at least be part of or half of the vibes that they are giving off at training camp. And that was the issue. If they were supposed to pick up 94 feet 85% of the time and they were at 30%, that's kind of that's kind of not what we're looking to see. It ain't about the wins, it ain't about the losses right now. But by the way, they are 0-5 the last 2 years now running in preseason. And it could end eventually. The young guys, they tried to get it to work. They tried to power through, unable to do it. 4 hours with you. We see the phone lines. We will get to them when we return. Open all day. Don't move. Let's look at the box score and hear from Domantas Sabonis. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer. Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-292-0975. 800-292-0975. Again, that's 800-292-0975.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry. Not that kind of pros. As in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months. They want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Amateur players will be pleased to know that the USGA doesn't object to a friendly bet with your weekend foursome. Friendly bets include soft drinks after the round, hot dogs at the turn, or even a $2 Nassau, one of the most widely used bets in golf. It takes its name from the Nassau County Country Club of Glen Cove, Long Island, one of the many clubs frequented by the well-to-do in the late 19th century. As the story goes, matches between these clubs were often reported in the local newspapers, sometimes to the embarrassment of wealthy industrialists coming out the loser. The Nassau captain J.B. Coles Tappan then devised a format where the worst possible result could not be reported as anything more than a 3-0 defeat. In a Nassau, 3 equal wagers are placed on the first 9, the second 9, and 18-hole total. A $2 Nassau is sometimes referred to as a 2-2-2 bet. Some play better with a bet to keep their attention, others are nervous at the thought of losing. Whatever your choice, golf is a game, have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
A lot of text pouring in. The 916 says, let's face it, King's going to take as long as Highway 50 to rebuild. Yeah, you won. We are 30 minutes into the show. That is the text of the day. 916.
How are they doing more construction on it?
You know what, man? Highway 50, because in the Bay, was it? I think Highway 4. That's our version. That just there's always something going on Highway 4. But being out here, I told my wife we had swim lessons at that YMCA downtown, and I think I got lost every single time. With Waze was open, but I'm thinking, okay, it's not that you see the exit, but because of all the construction, you don't know when you got to hop over. It's always a mess. So, I'm trying to get as far as I can before having to get over. It's a nightmare.
When you leave the show, do you have to go west to get to, when you drive home, do you go westbound on 80?
No, well, I'm just Garden Highway.
Oh, okay.
And then I hop on 5. It's very simple. That's getting here. I have 8,000 ways to get to the studio. It's amazing, and you need it because further down Garden Highway, because of the storm that happened a while back, they're still working on that area of Garden Highway.
See, that's crazy too, because just this last week I usually leave the other way, but I went 80 out. And there's construction going on at that exit crazy. Now. The exit we get on the on-ramp, they have construction there too. There's 3 different places that they're working on 80.
No, 916, that is spot on. What gets rebuilt first? Highway 50 or the Sacramento Kings? 916, you win. You win for today. Let's see if anyone can outdo them. 775. Shout out Nevada says, I said yesterday y'all had me sipping the purple Kool-Aid. I spit it out after last night. I'm back to my 30-32 wins. No expectations other than some trades in the future. Yeah, so here, that's a good one as well. 775. How's that 34.5 looking today? After one preseason game, you're already in Nevada. So I don't know if you dabble or not. I don't know if you already put a ticket in, but how does that 34.5 look today? I'm staying strong. I'm still saying over. I will not be deterred. Like I said, it was just a letdown last night. I don't know how much it has as far as the bearing on the season, even though they are still winless in the preseason the last 2 years, but I'm still saying strong. 34.5 is still too low. I have to say that.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that whatever your opinion was yesterday should be the same today.
Yes.
You don't let one bad preseason game where they sat the starters after a quarter and a half.
They got closer after they did.
Yeah, but still, those first 7 minutes though, they were winning. Yeah. I saw NBA.com has a bar chart that's basically like what the highest lead of the game was, and it's like at the very beginning you see 2-4 for the Kings, and then the rest of the way it's just all Toronto.
Yeah.
But for those first 8 minutes when the starters, other than Sabonis, who got in foul trouble, were in the game, they were fine.
Yeah.
For 8 minutes. Keegan had 4 blocks.
Yeah, Keegan, when we talk about the vets, Keegan looked good. 916 from Citrus Heights, because we have the areas now, so that's pretty cool. Citrus Heights 916 says, preseason or not, I saw no improvement to the perimeter defense that the team also had issues with the last half of the season last year. No disrespect to Keegan and Keon, but for Doug to be the coach, the team defense was abysmal. It was last night. We will see who the Kings want to be, because now they have a storyline, right? They didn't look good. They didn't do some of the things that they told us they were working on, and now we get to see how they bounce back from it. Offensively, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the defense, but offensively, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm looking at offensively. You know, and again, this is the offense is, I don't know what's going to take longer to round into form, the offense or the defense, because you have Dennis Schroeder, and it looked like you said, Kyle, there were no DHOs at one point.
None with Sabonis specifically.
Yeah, there were no DHOs, but I saw a really nice Dennis Schroeder back cut. We never see back cuts in that offense, but I think that's just a Dennis Schroeder special. I don't know how much that's baked into the offense. So as much as we're talking about the defense, and as important as the defense is, I've been saying this all summer long. What is the offense going to be? I am still asking those questions today. And maybe it's a matter of, has anybody asked Doug nicely, hey, what would you call the offense, or what is the plan for the offense? Because it looks like it's compartmentalized, right? You know, those, whether your kids have them, you know, those little lunch containers where you got the two little pockets and then the big pocket, so you have the main place where you put the biggest part of your meal, and then the two sides go on the side. That's what the Kings offense looked like. There's a little bit of green peas on the top right in that little compartment. There's a little bit of rice on the left, and then you got your chicken in the big compartment. It was not a plate of just things mixed together. It was very much, hey, now we're going to have Dennis do this. Hey, now we're going to have DeMar DeRozan do this. Hey, DeMontis, you take the ball now. It was not flowing, and I'm going to say that's something that you can chalk up to preseason. Not checking 94 feet when Doug told everyone that they were going to check 94 feet for 85% of the game. That's not preseason to me. Or the offense not looking the way I don't know what we are thinking it's going to look like, but the offense looking disjointed, that's preseason to me.
So it's interesting because I didn't see the play you're talking about specifically on the back cut, but was it Dennis cutting from the baseline?
No, he was at the top of the key.
Got it.
And Domantas Sabonis was on the elbow, and Dennis had a nice back cut to the rim.
See, that was kind of the interesting thing when you mentioned it that I thought of, because at times Sabonis is going to be the point center, right? Mm-hmm. So Sabonis is going to have the ball, and everyone's going to kind of spread across the floor. Which is fine if, I guess, Levine is in the corner, or Levine or Keon are on the floor at the same time. It's hard to kind of figure out exactly how it's all going to work. But I do think that's optimistic if you have Sabonis handling the ball, you've got Schroeder handling the ball. You said Neek Clifford was doing it at some points. Yeah. The plethora of people who were holding the ball, or, primary ball handlers, feels good. But the counterpoint of the negative is you've got Levine, who's great with the ball in his hands. You've got DeRozan, who goes into his office. You've got Sabonis, who obviously they're going to want the ball in his hands. Can those guys operate without the ball in their hands well enough to make that offense work as seamlessly as it did with the Beam team?
Yeah, it just looks very much take turn offense. You go, I go, you go, I go. And it looked like a pickup game, right? Trying to figure everybody out. Now, that first pickup game of the day always takes the longest. You go to 21, ones and twos, and it takes forever. By the time, if you win that game, and now you're on your third, fourth game, it looks a little bit different because you've been playing together all day long, right, or all morning long. So that's just the first game. They didn't win the first game, unlike my pickup example, but they will get 82 bites at this apple and a couple more in the preseason. Kyle, let's hear from Domantas Sabonis and the idea that what we saw last night was not them. I guess we had a Revenge of the Body Snatchers last night, or Space Jam. Somebody took their talents last night. Let's hear it.
It's definitely not how we were playing through the training camp, but first preseason game, Toronto's a team that tries to junk up the game, and throw different things and lineups at you and make us play a different way.
There it is. And as Domantas Sabonis is saying that, I get a text from Whitey Gleason saying they had to run back cuts because Toronto was overplaying the passing lanes on the perimeter. Like I said, man, it's fine, right? They have to do media availability, and I'm sure that they would rather not. But that's what we're doing. The Raptors, pesky, sure, but if the Raptors are taking you out of your game plan, I'm not sure how strong your game plan is. Is that fair?
It's funny, though, because normally, instinctively, I'm like, well, the Raptors do these creative things, and then I have to remind myself, oh, wait, Nick Nurse isn't the coach anymore. It's the guy who that one time was yelling about Scotty Barnes will be all-star one day.
Look, and maybe by the time the season comes around, the end of the season, the Raptors are a top 10 defense, and we get that. But that's an Eastern Conference team. Again, 34.5. We're looking at you already got to deal with the West. Now you can't handle what they're cooking up in Toronto.
You can't handle Colin Murray Boyles.
If you can't handle Brandon Ingram and Colin Murray Boyles, I got to take the under, because you have to beat these Eastern Conference teams. You have to.
Well, yeah, but I think now that's going to kind of the defense part of it too, because the biggest takeaway from the game is defense looked putrid, like just terrible. And yes, shooters building, and we joke RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram are both just like, when no one's got a hand in their face, just elite. But as soon as you put a quality defender on them, they don't know what they're doing. But I will say the offense portion of it, you can take away enough positives to say, hey, this is going to look better than it did last year.
Right.
And you mentioned Schroeder back cuts and all the stuff like that. You can at least take away some interesting new things they did. Defensively, there's not as much there. And that's where, the Raptors are not throwing these insane offensive sequences at you.
That's what I'm saying. If they're getting you off your block, right? If the Raptors are bullying you, that's a problem. That is a problem.
The Raptors' second team, too.
What are we talking about? Let's talk about the box score and who showed out and who didn't show up when we return. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Sunday, the 49ers take on the Bucks.
Kickoff at 10 a.m.
The 49ers play here. Sactown Sports, 1140.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley's support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Sacramento gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's just some things you can't stand for. And no future All-Star, no Scotty Barnes. Last night, they got us out of our game. I mean, what are we talking about here? What are we talking? It's just preseason. We can separate the result versus the things that we saw. And again, it's just the stuff that we were told we were going to see that we did not see from an effort standpoint versus a win or loss in a preseason game. We'll hear from Doug Christie in the 11 o'clock hour, by the way. But as far as the score box is concerned, and obviously it's not going to look the same as a normal game because guys aren't playing the full thing in full minutes and full rotations. Brandon Ingram, in 23 minutes, he had 21 points. He had 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 71% from 3. He was 5 of 7.
That's
from
crazy.
3-point range. 46% from the field. He was 7 of 15. Ochai Agbaji, he had 7 points. He was 1 of 2 from 3-point land. He kind of filled up the stat sheet with 2 steals, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Mugbo, he had 5 points and 7 rebounds, a couple of assists, 2 steals as well. RJ Barrett, future King, 13 points. He played 23 minutes. RJ Barrett was 3 of 5 from 3-point range. That's good for 60% for all you mathematicians out there. 4 assists as well. But did another steal? I mean, how many turnovers did the Kings have? Everybody had a steal. Looks like the Raptors had 16 turnovers. Oh, the Kings had 18. It was just ugly. Do you see that play that I posted, Kyle? When Domantas Sabonis fell over and then the Raptors player threw it off the side of the backboard.
I did.
And I said, how can you not be romantic about basketball?
I didn't watch the video, but I did see you tweet it. Let me pull this up right now.
It's just so ugly.
You're going to get my live on-air reaction. By the way, in his entire career, Brandon Ingram has 13 of games with 5 or more three-pointers. The fewest minutes he played in any of those games was 28.
Jeez. If you want to overreact, on the other side, I didn't think Emmanuel Quickley looked very good. 1 of 4 from 3. He had 8 points.
Sorry, I just saw the video. Oh, wait, it didn't go out of bounds?
No.
What?
No. Then they gave up, and then all the
They
Kings
scored on that?
Yes.
Shut up.
How can you not be romantic
There's no way.
about basketball? 4 assists for Emmanuel Quickley as well, and he had 3 turnovers to go with those 4 assists. Mugbo had 3 turnovers too. Colin Murray-Boyles, he played 22 minutes. All these guys played close to 20 minutes and more than 22 minutes. Murray-Boyles had 12 points. I know Chris Watkins, we're going to talk to him at 12 o'clock. He was really impressed by what he saw from Colin Murray-Boyles. He had 6 assists as well as 7 rebounds. I mean, the dude just filled it up, played 23 minutes. A couple other names to make their name. Jamal Sheed, 7 points in 15 minutes. You had Grady Dick, who had 14 points, 1 of 2 from 3-point land, couple rebounds. Jacoby Walter, 15 points. He was 2 of 3 from three-point land.
I wanted him in that draft.
Yeah, he had 3 assists as well. So that's really what it comes down to for the Raptors, taking a look at what the Kings did. DeMar DeRozan, 6 points. He definitely had an emphasis. And this is what we saw, I think, early in you know what? We saw this DeMar DeRozan a couple times. We saw this DeMar DeRozan not so much at the beginning of the season, but right after that stretch where he started he had a whole record of the most 20-point games to start a Kings career. But then after that, we saw DeMar kind of go into more of a passing bag. The second time we saw that version of DeMar was right after the De'Aaron Fox trade. A couple games they didn't have Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan felt, okay, do I need to pass more? We all kind of need to pass more. That's what I saw from DeMar DeRozan last night. You know, he's been around, 17, 16 seasons, so he does not need to fill up the stat sheet and get into his office for the first preseason game of the year. He had 6 rebounds, which was impressive. Like I said, 4 assists, 1 block, and 6 points. Keegan Murray had 4 blocks in the first half. He had 6 points. DeMar was 1 of 2 from three-point land. Keegan did not hit a 3. Okay? Keegan was 0 of 4 from three-point land, and he was 2 of 3 from the free throw line as well. But he did have those blocks, and he had 3 rebounds. We know Keegan took a huge step forward last season with his rebounding. Domantas Sabonis and DeMar played 23 minutes. Keegan played 24 minutes. Domantas Sabonis played 22 minutes. That's fairly healthy. That's fairly healthy for the first preseason game. Domantas Sabonis, 19 points. He had 4 rebounds. He was very much trying to get to his spots offensively. Domas had 2 blocks. He had 4 turnovers, and he had 3 personal fouls. Zach LaVine only played the first half. He had 16 points in that first half. He was pure last night. That three-pointer was pure. 3 for 5. I don't even remember him missing. 3 for 5 from three-point land. And, yeah, he was just a bucket. 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 16 points. Zach LaVine, you know why I'm here. I'm here for one thing. Future All-Star Dennis Schroeder had 5 points, 6 rebounds, only 1 assist for the point guard, Dennis Schroeder. He had 1 turnover, and he was 0 of 2 from three-point land. How does everybody feel after watching Dennis Schroeder in a real game? Because that 3-point shot is not ugly, but it ain't smooth.
He's a 34% career 3-point shooter for a reason.
It's very much I'm shooting this because I'm wide open and I might burn you, but it is not something that you think he's going to be able to replicate all night long. It's just very slow. It's not slow, like it takes a long time. It's just I'm shooting this because I have to, because I'm wide open.
Yeah, and again, a below average 3-point shooter, you kind of expect them to just take the open ones and then kind of facilitate the ball the rest of the way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how, when you're playing and, they say 1 extra pass or you're rotating it around the perimeter. If you're the guy who gets it, Schroeder's always looking to make 1 extra pass. But if you get it and you're just open, you just got to fling it. And compared to the players on the Kings who will be on the floor with Dennis, Zach LaVine, Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Malik Monk, I guess Schroeder is, even Sabonis, when he's open, shoots it at 42%. So compared to all of that, yeah, Schroeder's probably the one where the defense is like, if they're swinging it and Schroeder's the one we leave open, I guess we'd rather it be him than anyone else.
They'll just live with it. By the way, I hadn't been reading off the plus-minus stat. If you're into that, Domantas Sabonis was a game worst, minus 22. Okay, DeMar DeRozan minus 8, Keegan minus 8. Dennis Schroeder on minus 10.
How did that happen for Sabonis? Was it just because when he got in foul trouble was when they went on their good stretch?
Yeah, I mean, 4 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, and they were early. So and again, most of when you lose a game, when you're down 20 at a point, there are going to be a lot of minuses. Okay, Zach LaVine, who only played the first half, he was a positive 5. Dennis Schroeder, like I said, minus 10. Drew Eubanks, who did take a 3. Hey, if you got the shot, you got to take it. That's what Drew told us. He had 4 points, 4 rebounds. I liked what I saw from Drew. 3 blocks. The one thing we saw that I don't think we expected to see was the block party. We did not expect to see, at least I didn't, the challenges at the rim. They had 11 blocks. We expected them to challenge 94 feet. They didn't do it. I don't think anybody expected more than double-digit blocks, and they did it.
Sacramento.
Yeah, remember we had that stat from the B-Ball Index earlier over the summer? I guess I got to hit myself with the
dork.
But we had that stat that was like Keegan Murray is one of the best shot blocking forwards in the NBA, which is, again, kind of like Karl Anthony Towns being the best three-point shooting big man. Keegan playing at the 4, effective shot blocker. Now, part of that is because Sabonis is not the most effective shot blocker, and someone's got to block shots on this team, but Keegan did great.
Malik Monk, 8 points, no turnovers, 2 assists, 1 steal. He only played 14 minutes. He was 1 of 3 from three-point land. Isaac Jones, and Malik Monk was a -17. Isaac Jones was a -16, even though it felt like he had a good game. Look, plus minus, it's tough in one game sample sizes. Isaac Jones had 3 points. He had that corner 3. He was 1 of 2 from three-point land. Besides that, not a ton. He did turn the ball over twice, and that's why I think the plus minus went a little bit haywire there. Keon, 16 minutes. He had 8 points. He had that Skywalker dunk. He had 1 steal. He had 1 rebound and a couple good defensive plays. Of course, Nick Clifford, 24 minutes. He was a -4. Keon was a -12. Neek had 10 points. He played 24 minutes. He was 0 of 2 from three-point land, but Neek had 9 assists. He almost put up a double-double in a preseason game. Devin Carter, 16 minutes, 8 points, 3 assists. I thought Devin had his moments as well, 1 of 3 from three-point land. And it did look quicker, even though Devin doesn't want to say so. It did look quicker. Dylan Cardwell, 12 points. Dylan Cardwell looked good, man. Rebound, he had 3 rebounds. He was a positive 16, a plus 16. Maxime Reynaud, plus 11. He had 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. He's our guy, Maxime Reynaud. He was 0 of 2 from 3, and one of them could have cut that lead towards the end of the game if they were trying to sneak out that victory. And that's it from all the guys that got a fair amount of time. Maxime barely scratched the double digits. We didn't see him till later in the game. That was your box score, and it kind of tells a story. The Kings, stop me if you've heard this before, 30.3. I'm not going to cheat them out of that 0.3. 30.3% from 3. And the other team shot 54.1. That is not going to get it done. That is never going to get it done. And they were 75% from the free throw line. That's also not going to get it done. 28 of 37. The Raptors were 22 of 27, good for 81%. 11 o'clock hour coming up. Let's hear from the Kings' fearless leader, Doug Christie, on the lack of defensive intensity. We also get to some other takeaways from last night. And all in all, how last night may shape or not shape the rest of how you view the season. You view 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane DeWalt deals on October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits will be at insanely low prices. Spend $1,000 on DeWalt products and get $75 off your order instantly. Spend $100 and get a lotto scratcher with prizes up to $1,000 off your next order. That's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile.
I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
They say the hardest part of getting something done is getting started. Well, we did that 30 years ago when California first took on the tobacco industry. Now, smoking is down 60%. Lung cancer 52%. A couple of our cities have already ended tobacco sales. A California without big tobacco isn't just possible, it's already happening. See our progress at undo.org.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
There's the game and there's the fight. Every night, we're going to win one of them. If we win them both, we're doing something. Tonight, we lost them both. That was Doug Christie talking about the Kings preseason game. Jenny, help me out here just a little bit. So if you win one, you have to, is he saying you have to win at least one to have a chance at winning the game?
No, he's saying I heard the clip earlier. I didn't cut it. I didn't know we wanted to laugh about this, but
I'm not laughing. I saw it and I'm trying to understand.
No, his point is that there's 164 games every year. There's 82 on the court and there's 82 fights. And that no matter what, they're always going to win 82 fights. So if they don't win 82 fights, something is wrong.
Okay.
There's 2 games every night is basically the crux.
But we know they can lose a fight.
Well, they just did lose the fight.
They did lose a fight.
They just lost the fight. But Doug is saying they're going to win 82 fights.
Okay. We need to see them win a fight.
Yeah, they still haven't won a fight.
But they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
trying to.
Not that they're going to win a fight. They're never going to lose.
They're not.
They're never going to lose a fight.
Hold on. There's the game and there's the fight. Every night, we're going to win one of them. If we win them both, we're doing something. Tonight, we lost them both. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're 0-2 on the preseason.
Yes.
Should we start doing this?
No, we should not.
You don't want to?
No. Mm-mm.
Every game, we're going to keep track of their record, fight, and...
Can you lose a fight and win a game? Because I feel like you could beat the Hornets and lose a fight.
I mean, that one time Trey Lyles beat up Brooke Lopez, I feel like.
And by the way, is this where this is headed? Now that the Toronto Raptors are the Detroit Pistons defensively, they're gonna lose to the Hornets. Yeah, man. I mean, just high-level ball players over there. High-level ball players, and they got a lot of different sets that they run. You got LaMelo. You got those other 2 guys. You got Brandon Miller. Man, it's just... I mean, this is the NBA.
You're going to win the fight, though.
Yeah, the Jazz, man, some of the guys that they brought in, they're building something. And they got Lauri for now, by the way. We have some reports on that to get to later in the show on Lauri Markkanen and whether or not the Kings should be interested in him. All right, Kyle, let's hear from Doug with what we've been teasing throughout the first hour. You are in the middle of a 30-minute commercial-free set from the home of the Sacramento Kings. This is Doug on only picking up 94 feet, allegedly 30% of the time.
What do you think of a lot of talk about picking up 94 feet coming into this? What do you think of the job they did, and how much do you expect that to have a learning curve as you guys implement that?
Whole team, starters, reserves?
Mainly starters in that first year.
They were in the first half 30%. So that's unacceptable, and we talked about it. 85 is the number. So that means out of all the opportunities that you get, when someone turns around with the basketball, they know what you ate for breakfast.
Come on, man.
The sack chat was going, and then I just heard the breakfast at the end. But
know what you ate for breakfast.
Yes. 916-339-1140. And look, man, this is what I keep saying. At this point, the talk is the talk, right? I'm a sick person because all I want to see now is what they do on Friday. I don't even know if it's hopium. I just want to see if the Kings are ever going to react, right, or stand on business. When is the last time the Kings stood on business? When is the last time the Kings said, we are not letting it happen? Because Doug Christie, he made a career out of standing on business.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
He made a career.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
He made a career out of standing on business. It doesn't matter who puts on that jersey. I don't see it. But I continue to, I don't know if I believe it or not, but I continue to be hopeful that the next game I'm going to see it. And I will say there have been times where you'll see it for a game, right? Before a stretch. This is a stretch where we're just going to stand on business and do exactly what we always set out to do. When is the last time we saw that? So
they know what you ate for breakfast.
And I'm assuming what you ate for breakfast is
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Here, I'll give you an example right now. I had cereal for breakfast,
right.
So now the audience...
They know what you ate for breakfast.
But he's saying, oh, okay, these guys came to play, right? That's obviously what he's saying.
No, he's saying they're up in you. They can smell what you ate for breakfast on your voice, on your breath.
Peg on the sack chat says standing on breakfast. I'm done
They
with
know
you
what
guys.
you ate for breakfast.
I'm so done. This is the first preseason game.
But this is the thing. We've heard so many of these Doug quips last year that we've done this before.
He's got more
They
say.
know what you ate for breakfast.
He's like the Mark Jones of coaching. These guys together, it's incredible.
He had 3 of them in just the 2 minutes we've heard so far.
Look, Kings fans out there, you might not have a parade.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
You might not have playoff runs, but the quips that you get from Mark Jones and Doug Christie, you can take that wherever you go, use that in your normal life, and people know what you have for breakfast.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
94 feet. That is what we are hoping to see from the Kings, and we did not see it. But ultimately, and when I say talk is cheap, this is not on Doug. This is the age-old conversation between a coach and a player. And, checks notes, this is exactly what we did last season, right? And how you diagnose when a team doesn't believe in a coach anymore or when a team is just not very good. Because that was the whole thing with Mike Brown. This team, he lost the locker room. Maybe they just stink. I don't know. Because if things go haywire, or if the Kings win 34 games, they are the 12th seed. That's not a good season. Do we sit there and say, hey, well, nobody's going to say, hey, well, Doug lost the locker room. No, we're going to say, well, that team didn't make a lot of sense. And I guess you could argue that the Mike Brown Kings with De'Aaron Fox made more sense, but there were a ton of question marks about DeMar DeRozan. So that's where it becomes, we are having some fun with the sayings that Doug has, because personally, I love sayings, never close an open door. I have a buddy who always jokes me, he calls them Allenisms, even though I didn't create them. But he's like, you always have one in the tank. So I love how Doug goes about it, and I'm taking all of them and reusing them, by the way. So shout out to Doug, and I will reference him in the process. So it's not—
They know what you ate for breakfast.
It's not about Doug. That is completely separate than the fact that the Kings and the message that they are receiving, sometimes it's the message, not the messenger. At what point are they going to receive the message? At what point are they going to receive the message and show us that they received the message and do something about it? Because based on those rotations, that was not a sell of a preseason game. They wanted to come out and impress some people. I think that in a preseason game, you want to win that first half because you've had your starters out there. The Kings, without a doubt, wanted to win that first half. They didn't care about winning the game because they knew that in the second half they were going to bring in the Summer League crew, They knew that. We all knew that. But they wanted to win that first half, and they didn't. And it wasn't particularly close. And that's what Doug is talking about, breakfast and 94 feet.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
So that's where we're at right now. 916-339-1140. Some texts coming in. There are texts about the owner, of course, as well. 916 says...
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Wonder what he ate for breakfast today.
One game, and I've seen enough. Same team, same problems. Well, going back, and we can play some of this sound later, going back to Sean Cunningham, who was on with the morning show yesterday, this is the type of stuff that will accelerate a rebuild, right? If you're just coming out and having a tough time against the Raptors, who... Look, I already gave Kyle kudos. I think they are going to be a bit better than I initially thought. Sometimes when teams stink for so long, you just assume that they're going to stink again. And the Raptors, I mean, I just saw TJ McConnell is out for the Pacers. The Pacers are a nightmare. So there's going to be an extra spot in that top 8.
Pacers, by the way, 38.5 too.
Yeah, for somebody to slide into. Maybe it's the Raptors. I don't know. But this is less about the Raptors. And because I think if the Kings were in the East, they'd probably be set at 40 wins. I do think the Kings are better than the Raptors. They didn't show it last night. I think the Raptors have younger players, and they have some areas of the team that they could be more excited about. You know, going back to the Dalton connecting yesterday, and I get it, it's just the first game. I think we saw Devin Carter in the third quarter, and I think Devin was Devin. He got up. Devin could smell breakfasts.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Devin was smelling. Devin was smelling breakfasts.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
By the way, Vincent on the Sack Chat called them the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club. That's what they need to be.
So good.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
The Breakfast Club. So he was doing what everybody, but we knew that, right? Devin, Neek, Keon, of course. And like I said, I thought Zach LaVine was a pleasant surprise defensively. It's just everything else offensively. There were some confusing notes too. As far as the Dalton connecting that we spent some time on yesterday, and if you missed the show yesterday, Dalton Connect, there was an article written by The Athletic by Dan Woik, and Dalton Connect is essentially seen at this point as a negative asset, which makes no sense because the Lakers are not going to move draft capital, even if it's low-level draft capital, to get it. He's not making a ton of money, right? I know he's a first-round pick, so he's making a little something, but the Lakers aren't going to they're not going to move an asset with Dalton Connect to move off of him. But the reason I bring him up is because Devin Carter did not get in until the third quarter. He was essentially part of the Summer League crew. Obviously, Neek Clifford, I don't know if it's considered a leapfrog because I don't believe that Devin was going to play a ton of 3 or at least as much 3 as Neek Clifford. But, yeah, Devin Carter not getting into the third quarter I thought was a bit telling as to where he currently is, and that doesn't mean he's not going to have an opportunity. That doesn't mean that the Kings don't like him, but clearly there are and I know Brendan Nunez had said that Doug wants a 10-man rotation, so if we do that off the top of our head, I think Devin is sneaking into the back of that.
Nope. The 10-man yesterday was because they only played 10 in the first half. Right. It was 5 starters: Schroeder, Levine, DeRozan, Keegan, Sabonis, backups: Monk, Ellis, Neek Clifford, Isaac Jones, Drew Eubanks.
Man, that's 10.
Well, you're one injury away.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Theoretically, they could put Doug McDermott
in. I was
in.
gonna say, we don't want anybody to get injured, but if it's a Drew Eubanks, that's not gonna help Devin. I don't think.
You think Devin can play the 5?
I mean, Devin, I'll do anything, Coach. So
they know what you ate for breakfast.
That's something that I had a close eye on yesterday. People were upset, man. I'm telling you, Maxime Reynaud is the most highly touted second rounder possibly in the history of the NBA, definitely in the history of the Sacramento Kings, and I'm kidding. I'm sure there's somebody else that pops up there. But there was an uproar. Carmichael Dave, and Dario Saric didn't even play. Where is Maxime? We want Maxime. Isaac Jones ended up being the backup 4, and we saw Maxime in the second half, and he played well later in the second half, but people were upset. Why, why are these starters playing these minutes. It didn't make a ton of sense. And I think it's the process, right? Again, somebody's probably tuning in saying, we're spending so much time on the first preseason game. Well, hell yeah, we are. It was a long summer, man. Y'all want to talk Kuminga? Because I saw Chris Watkins. He's going to be in the building later. He said something about Kuminga. We can talk Kuminga.
Oh, Kuminga watch? We bring him watch back?
We can talk Kuminga. Don't tempt me. But the process of the preseason game, what was the goal? That's why I think that they were, again, second half, anything could happen. They wanted to show, hey, this is our first opportunity to, even in a preseason matchup on Kings.com, and you can listen, of course, here on the flagship. This is our first opportunity to show the new version of the Kings. And that's what they were supposed to do in the first half.
New version that's exactly the same.
And they did not do it. They did not do it. The craziest part to me was the three-point defense. That to me actually was just comedy. That was just comedy to me. Like you couldn't, The Office or Parks and Rec, you couldn't write up a better script to have the first preseason game with a new coach, new identity, some new players. You couldn't write a better script than to have not the Celtics, the Thunder don't even shoot threes like that, but not the Celtics, not the Warriors, not one of these crazy three-point shooting teams, to have the Toronto Raptors come in and shoot 54%. That is out of a script.
I think the comedically funny name of RJ Barrett, too.
That is out of a script. First time we've seen Brandon Ingram feels like play with the Raptors because he had that injury after he signed that extension. That is just out of a script. So now they have to scrap that and get back to the business.
Oh, congratulations. You got Portland, also a funny team to lose to.
Yeah. And Shaedon Sharpe getting ready. 916 says, we just don't have a good team. So we can't expect more from them than what we saw. They are what they are, like taking a Chevy Sprint to a race against sport cars. It can only do what it can do. Zero expectations to win with this roster. I'm not necessarily against what 916 is saying, but again, it just goes back to the fact that it's not a bad, there's a difference between, and maybe I'm just getting caught up in the verbiage, but it's not a bad roster. It's a roster that doesn't make sense. And it hasn't made sense. And maybe it'll make more sense the more they play together. I didn't see the effects of Dennis Schroeder, of them having a point guard last night. I did not see those effects. I think when we read off the box score, first game, I don't think Dennis had an assist. I don't think he had an assist. So I didn't see.
Didn't he have one, we said?
He had one glorious assist.
I think it was kind of late in the game, too.
Yeah, and he played 24 minutes, 23 minutes, 59 seconds. So one glorious assist. So, again, not about the result. To me, it's about the process and the expectations that they placed on us. And it really was a bit of a letdown. But, hey, 82 bites at the apple, 85 if you count the three more preseason games.
87 if you count the play-in that we're definitely going to be in.
Hey, you better hope. Well, I don't know. If you want to run the tankathon, you better hope.
I guess we can do that, too. Also, according to Doug, 164.
All right. You love this.
I know you did a great job explaining it, but I just want the people to – I've cut it now. I just want people to hear what he said.
I've talked to them about there's 2 games every night. There's the game and there's the fight. So we got 164 games, okay? Every night we going to win one of them. If we win them both, we doing something. Tonight we lost them both. And I said, let that be the last time that we always going to win the fight.
Yeah, that's what he said at the very end. We're always going to win the fight. So hopefully.
Let that be the last time.
Right. And obviously the preseason, you're not playing your guys the whole time. So I want to see did we see any fight yesterday? None.
Well, it's just the fight.
But I saw no fight within the game. And I know it's preseason, but to me, I get it, worth millions of dollars. It is what it is. But to me, I'm just a prideful guy. Right? There was somebody that had something slick to say on the text line earlier, and I responded because I'm a prideful guy. That's who I am. And I'm not saying the Kings don't have pride, and I'm not saying my pride might look a little bit different if I had $100 million in my bank account. Got to play the lottery today. I'm not saying that wouldn't look a little bit different. But it just felt as if it felt like you had, remember that movie, I know Kyle doesn't, Adam Sandler in Click? It felt like the Kings just had a remote and just fast forward through the offseason, and it was just a continuation of last season. That's what it felt like. It was just another game from last season. Dennis Schroeder somehow ended up on the team, but it was just another game from last season. All the same pain points. They didn't even choose to lose a different way. They didn't even make new pain points. You know what your parents say? Hey, this is what my parents would always say to me. You're going to make mistakes in life, but you're not going to make the same mistakes I did. Allen, I want you to make your own mistakes. This team, the 2025-2026 Kings, they're going to make mistakes. The hope is that they just don't make the same exact mistakes that they made in 2024-2025.
This is like people after their freshman year of high school saying that they've come back a changed person after the summer. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, you're the same 16-year-old that you were as a 15-year-old. You haven't changed as much as you like to think you have, even though everyone wants to preach, oh, this year's going to be different, or this year we're going to be X, Y, or Z. I mean, the players are not young. Their games have been what they've been their entire career. We've said it the whole time. The roster construction just doesn't make sense.
Well, again, one game, but
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
But is also 2 games, according to Doug.
Oh my goodness. It's the Dennis Schroeder thing to me. They don't know. I don't think the Kings truly know how Dennis Schroeder is supposed to help them yet. I think they know that he's going to help them, or they know that he can help them, but they don't know how he's supposed to help them yet. And that is the hopium that we will transition to as we are starting to put this game to bed. They haven't unlocked, not what, Valanciunas corner threes. Well, now we've unlocked Isaac Jones corner threes. And shout out to Isaac Jones. But they have not unlocked, and I'm not saying that the ceiling with Dennis Schroeder is terribly high. I'm just saying they haven't even got close yet. They clearly don't know how this offense is going to flow. And the one positive thing that even I saw the biggest Kings pessimists say is that I'm not saying that they're going to look like a top 4 team in the West, but it will look better offensively. There's no way it can't.
Yeah, I guess the silver lining to that point is like Schroeder, even though he signed in July, was playing Eurobasket and everything else, so they haven't...
He wasn't with them in the summer, correct?
Yeah, exactly. They haven't had as much time together, but again, that's just one piece of a larger puzzle that still has the same concerns from last year, which is how many years have we seen LaVine and DeRozan play and know exactly what that game is? Sabonis and the DHOs, they don't work with Zach LaVine. That's not LaVine's style of play. So there's other questions outside of the Schroeder element that you're dropping in there.
But the only reason I'm bringing it up is because he's supposed to help a lot of it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
That's fair. I think Schroeder is being hailed as kind of like an elixir. Yeah. Like it's going to solve some of these other issues just by having a competent point guard, an above average NBA point guard, taking all point guards into account, right? Like below average starter, but above average NBA point guard is supposed to save all of these ills. And again, the offense wasn't terrible in the first preseason game, but it still leaves you with questions that if the defense sucks, it's not going to matter. They're going to probably lose a bunch of games.
Yeah, Schroeder, you're spot on there with Schroeder being kind of the fix-all. And I know certain people had this growing up, maybe not everyone, but yeah, we were one of those households where ginger ale was going to fix everything. Like ginger, you got a stomach ache, go drink some ginger ale. You got a headache, go drink some ginger ale, right? You don't feel well, right? Like, Mom, my arm, I'm bleeding. Go drink some ginger ale. That's how the Kings have kind of laid this out for Dennis Schroeder. Doesn't matter what their issues are, because that's what it's been. Offensively, we're going to have a flow. We have a point guard now. Defensively, Keegan's not going to have to guard point guards, and he's going to be a dog. Even on the broadcast with our guy Drapes, former coworker, always friend. Drapes, they were talking about the same thing. I'm just excited to see him defensively. And I'm looking around, like, no disrespect, but I'm just trying to see, okay, well, this Dennis Schroeder signing is really supposed to do some things, and maybe it will. And that's the hope that the Kings should have, that they haven't seen the best of what Dennis Schroeder can bring. Now, the naysayers will say there's just not that much that you're going to get with Dennis Schroeder. But clearly they've seen something with Dennis Schroeder throughout the last couple years here. And in training camp, even though they are facing their own defense, which can make an offense look a little bit better, but they are seeing something, right, that they believe will take them to the next level. Because the level of last season was not a high one. And that's why nobody is saying, like I said, a lot of things would have to go right for the Kings and wrong for other teams for them to sneak into that 8 seed. I think anything is possible. I don't think it's impossible. Probably not. It ain't probable, but not impossible. But it all starts with Dennis Schroeder because that's the main guy. I think the two, when you look at an X factor is normally somebody that you're not paying attention to, but it's Dennis Schroeder to me and Nee Clifford. That's it. And obviously you got Keegan Murray from a leap standpoint and from a volume production standpoint. 1 hour down and about 30 minutes when we return for the 11 o'clock segment. We are starting to put the game to bed. Chris Watkins, we're of course going to ask him about it at 12 o'clock. That's also when we have your secret keyword for the Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. And nothing can fix your ailments like a night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer, as we discuss some of the positives that we saw and how the draft continues to be the best thing for the Sacramento Kings each and every year, even if the guy didn't get drafted. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Mac Jones throws. McCaffrey! He's got it! Touchdown! 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 49ers! Stafford gets under center at the 11-yard line. He takes it. He turns. He gives to Kyron Williams. He gets back. I think he's short, Tim. I think he's short. And the 49ers storm the field. It is all over. The 49ers have won it in overtime.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
30 minutes away, being joined by the one, the only, Chris Watkins. He's going to give us his assessment of last night and just in general. And like I keep saying, Chris is the guy to chill me out, right? Chris is the guy or to say, I don't know where you got those expectations to begin with. So we're going to talk to Chris Watkins for about 30 minutes. That is coming up in 30 minutes. Also, we are 30 minutes away from our Sacramento Kings, Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. Sacramento Kings and Sactown Sports giving you a chance to win a pair of lower level seats to Kings vs. Thunder on November 7th. A one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer and a $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending champs. Text in today's keyword, which we will give you at 12, 916-339-1140, now for your chance to win. Haven't been to Revival yet, definitely want to go. I do feel like I'm not saying you got to dress. I don't believe you have to dress up, but I feel like based on how this is speaking to me, you should look pretty clean.
It's a special occasion, let's call it.
I don't think I would go there until I get my hair cut. Okay? And not an Allen haircut. So I'll get my hair cut, right? Everybody knows, yeah, it's a lot of money. Hey, that's why I get it about once a month. But in the meantime, I'll do an Allen haircut where right when it's starting to grow back, I can, make it look good enough. I don't know. Maybe I would go in there with a fresh Allen haircut, but I'd probably need to get an official haircut before walking into Revival.
So what? An Allen haircut's like every 5 days, right?
An Allen haircut is about halfway through. So about 2 weeks after the normal haircut, I'll freshen myself up.
But when we were talking about you paying so much money for your haircuts, didn't you say you go like 3 times a month? Or has it had to go down now?
No. It was never 3 times a month. No. It's about once a month. Whenever I see my barber, it's, hey, how have you been?
Okay.
Yes. Now, if I have a stretch where we went to Summer League or we have a wedding or something like that and I got to go back sooner, that's different. But no. Mm-mm.
So
no. He had his kid recently. Shout out to my barber. The next time I saw him, look how big she's getting. I got to save the money, Kyle.
So once a month for the barber and once a month for the Allen haircut.
That's right. It just keeps your head above water. Okay, but I might have to come correct to show up to Revival, and hopefully I run into one of you there November 7th, whoever ends up winning, 916-339-1140. That's going to be the number to text in that secret code, all right? Now, as we discuss what the Kings don't do well, I want to talk about what the Kings do well. How about the draft? And not even when they draft guys. Nick Clifford, that's an NBA player. Congrats, Sacramento. We got one. We're okay here. Nick Clifford is going to play in the NBA for a long time. He's 23 years old. It's a little bit different than drafting a 19, 18-year-old. He should look good. He should look different, and he does. Nick Clifford could be in a ton of rotations right now. I believe that. He's not a perfect player, but Nick Clifford could be in a ton of rotations right now. So Scott Perry got one. B.J. Armstrong got one. We can set that aside. Maxime Reynaud, I think he has a very high ceiling. I think we have to see more. I like what we saw in Summer League. I'm starting to get a little worried. If you watch his three-point shot, there's a little bit of a hitchy woo-woo in there. And I want to see more of him. How consistent can he be shooting the three ball? Because that's kind of the big thing that separates him. If he can't shoot the three ball, it kind of changes. If we're trying to get you to a level defensively because you're so good offensively, but if we're not necessarily seeing what we believe we'll see offensively, that gets a little bit sketchy. After watching him, as much as I was excited about bringing him in to the Kings, just say the name, and they said the name, he for sure needs some time in Stockton. And maybe not a lot of time, but he needs some time in Stockton. But we're still excited from what we've seen from Maxime Reynaud. It's way too early to call anything. But as far as Nick Clifford is concerned, the dude's an NBA player. Dylan Cardwell, another guy. He is an NBA player defensively.
D-man signing off.
Defensively, he is an NBA player.
B-man signing off.
Offensively, he struggles to shoot free throws. He does not have a ton of tricks in his bag offensively. But there's something there. Again, we'll see what he can develop in Stockton. Keon Ellis, obviously we know that story as well. And it's very interesting as Isaac Jones is now on a standard contract. What a random thing for a team like the Kings to be good at, right? These draft picks that are a bit more random, or even these after the draft end signings. The Kings have got to be a top 5 team in acquiring talent either late in the draft or after the draft ends. Maybe top 10. Maybe I got purple colored lenses on. Maybe there are 9 other teams that do it very well too. Right? I know the Fred VanVleet. I know the Raptors were good at it. Fred VanVleet, he played 1 year and then accelerated, played well, was a champion for the Raptors. But it feels like the Kings, they're not top 10 in much, but they have to be, in my opinion, top 10 in acquiring hidden talent, right? The hidden jewels, if you will. The diamonds that are in the rough. That's what it feels like the Kings are really good at. And to be honest, it extends past or beyond Scott Perry. Because Isaac Jones, Keon Ellis, that's not Scott Perry. So I don't know what it is about Sacramento. You know, in college football, they're always arguing who's wide receiver you. Who cooks up the most wide receivers, right? Right now, the battle is always between Ohio State and LSU. Right now, it's LSU. But
really?
It's either one of them.
Because Ohio State, I feel like LSU's kind of coasting off of Jamar Chase and Jefferson.
Well, everybody goes back and forth, and then when Ohio State brings up Chris Olave, they say, all right, come on. He's fine, but he ain't like the rest of these guys.
I mean, but now you can throw in Jackson Smith and Jigba. You can throw in Egbuka.
Hey, I think it's either way, right? But wide receiver U could be LSU, could be Ohio State. You got tight end U. People want to talk about tight end U. The Kings are undrafted U, or two-way U, whatever you want to call it. If whoever the Kings don't draft, they're probably going to get a standard NBA contract. Whoever they sign right after the draft, just like the pipeline from the midday show to being the coach of the Kings. So I'll get my speech ready for about 15 years from now, whatever it is. If you get signed by the Kings, there is a high likelihood that you will get a standard NBA contract.
I feel like you're just making the point that their G League team is really good.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, not that they're like this great team at identifying talent.
They are late in the draft, after the draft.
I think it's just after the draft. It's not. I guess maybe Isaiah Thomas, second round pick, but I feel like it's just undrafted guys. Is what you're talking about.
That's their thing.
I mean, they could take credit for Gabe Vincent. Now he had to go to Miami to figure it out, but Gabe Vincent was a Stockton King too.
Neemias Queta?
Yeah, I mean he was undrafted.
I'm telling you, he's champion, right, on the Celtics. So I don't know what it is.
Chris Watkins, I've fact checked. He was a second round pick actually, so Queta doesn't count.
I can count second round. I can count second round. If Maxime Reynaud cooks, I'm counting him. I am counting him.
Well, Colby Jones. I mean, there's a whole bunch that didn't work out. But again, it's like a 30% hit rate.
No. That's a good hit rate. It's like baseball. You're batting 300. If you bat 300, seriously, if you bat 300 in the second round and undrafted, that's pretty good. Now, the only caveat is, and somebody is probably saying this in their car right now, well, Allen, they're getting contracts on a team that's not very good. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Kyle, we talked about this before the show, right? There's a difference. How many teams would these guys play on? I think Keon is legit.
Yeah, Keon would play on any team.
Keon is legit. We've said this before. This is no disrespect to Hot Honey Jones, Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones is maybe more of a product of this team doesn't have a 4. But I'm not trying to disrespect Isaac Jones. I think there are some teams he could get a rotation on, but Keon is the one you can't argue at all.
Yeah, it depends how many draft picks you have, which I think is the conversation, right? The Rockets are filling their bench with Cam Whitmore's and Jayshawn Tate's just because they had all the draft picks.
Right.
Versus the Kings don't have the draft picks because they either traded it for Kevin Huerter or traded it to move Rashawn Holmes' contract or traded Davion Mitchell for a salary dump that didn't end up mattering because Sasha Vezenkov went to Europe anyways. Because they keep dumping their draft picks, they have open roster spots for those second round and undrafted guys.
One more segment with you before Chris Watkins joins us. Bottom of the hour. Fine. Go get Russell Westbrook. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The statewide special election is November 4th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Chris Watkins joins us in 15 minutes. Also, your chance at the Kempton Sawyer giveaway. Can somebody hop on the text line or the Sac chat? Anybody stayed there? I'm not asking if you a baller or not, but has anybody stayed there? I want to be able to give a description. Well, Chris Watkins said, Chris Watkins said he stayed there. So in 15 minutes, we are getting a description of the Kempton Sawyer. And I might have to do something. Not 5 years yet, but whatever anniversary. I might have to stay at the hotel down the street from the Kempton Sawyer and say, look, babe, doesn't it look nice over there?
Okay.
Maybe next time.
Okay, I gotta. That was a good joke. That was good. But I gotta ask, why is your sensual voice just Stephen A. Smith when you're going to the Kempton Sawyer? You're just doing Stephen A. Smith sensual voice.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe. Just maybe. So I need to create my own?
No, I'm just saying, I don't know why in your mind you've chosen sensual voice to be sensual Stephen A. Smith.
Okay. Yeah, but he can't just claim sensualness.
No, but you're specifically doing the Stephen A. Smith cadence where you stop.
And then you start. And then you leave some room for silence.
I was curious.
I got to create my own sensual voice.
No, I mean, it's fine. I just don't know why.
I think that's a stock sensual voice, though. But I think if you listen to late night radio, you're on with Barry. It's all the same.
Who's listening to late night sensual radio?
That's before your time, kiddo.
That's before your time.
It's not before my time. I listen.
Don't try to unk me.
No, I got one more year, Big Brother. 916-339-1140. I'm very unk. I am. And look, all it took was one game to break me down and say, you know what? I get it. The Russell Westbrook thing, I get it. I would not give up Devin Carter even still, to this day. But I understand the Russell Westbrook thing. By the way, Kevin Durant said he would welcome Russell Westbrook on the Rockets. Now, they have a bunch of issues money-wise as far as how they would make that work, but I think that would be great. I think that would be a great story, and I don't know how it would work, but I would like to see it for Russ. I don't really mind if Russ gets a ring. I think that would be pretty cool.
I also think they're chill with each other.
Yes.
I don't know if they're like, yes, we have to play together before our careers are over.
I don't know how Westbrook actually feels. I know Kevin Durant is not tripping.
He just did some documentary where he was talking about it, and I think he's fine with Durant now.
But if he doesn't go to the Rockets, I understand why Scott Perry was interested in him, but I more so understand it because it doesn't necessarily feel like they're trying to name Malik Monk the pure, without a doubt question, backup point guard. Does not seem like that. Now, when the Kings still had De'Aaron Fox, I don't know why things felt more natural, right? Malik handled the basketball, but I don't even know if at that time we referred to Malik as the quote-unquote backup point guard because everything just flowed better, right? Now that things are more disjointed, it looks more compartmentalized. I made the joke about the food containers. Looks like they're in 3 different segments of the food container because he was the back. You had Davion.
Well, Beam Team, no.
Yeah, you had Davion.
Last year, he kind of was.
He was because Davion was gone, and Keon is not really that. Malik is a better point guard than Keon. That's not a question.
But again, this is why I always reference back to the Beam Team because, that team fit, and it was the number one offense in NBA history at the time in terms of efficiency. You had playmaking point guard, you had center who could handle the ball, you had two wings that were actually wings, Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes, and Keegan Murray was a 40% three-point shooter, which is what you need from the 4 position, right? That's why it all made sense together. This version of it is a complete 180 from that. Yeah. Not to say it can't be a good offense, because LaVine and DeRozan are excellent players. It's just not going to be as efficient.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the Westbrook camp now. I wouldn't give up Devin Carter for him or in order for it to happen, but I'm definitely more so in the Russell Westbrook camp now. The bottom line is we know the timeline for this team is different. Hell, this timeline could be 30 games again, but the reality is the timeline is the trade deadline. This is not the same timeline as other teams. So why not get him and make a run for it before January, and when, trades start to fire up and go from there. That's my thought on it. And I still wouldn't give up Devin Carter. I think there is something there. He's just not really in a position to get opportunities right now. Look, if there was a 4 running around, maybe there's a free agent 4 that we're missing that the Kings could get on a minimum. But there is not because I do think the Kings need to get bigger. But if there was a 4 out there that I thought could help as much as I think Russell Westbrook could help, which, by the way, isn't a ton, just a little bit, enough, a little spark there. Somebody to say, this is BS, that the Raptors are shooting 54%, let's do something, then I would take that 4 over Russell Westbrook. But I don't know who's out there like that.
I'm looking up the list right now. We have PJ Tucker.
I mean, he is kind of a dog.
No, he's cooked. Cooked, I tell you.
He'll get in somebody's face from the bench. Wasn't he with the Knicks? What happened there?
He's cooked. That's what happened there. His body is cooked. He is 40.4 years old right now.
I beg your pardon?
He is over 40 years old.
No. Anybody else?
Morris Twins.
I think I'm solid. Basically, I would take Westbrook over. Is there anybody that I would take over Westbrook? And I just think the answer is no.
Did someone sign Bol Bol?
Don't care.
JT Thor. Remember
Great
him?
Name, but no.
Remember him on the Wizards hitting that game winner against us?
Oh, my goodness. Now, that was the basement.
JT Thor burying the game-winning 3.
Good times. The Wizards kind of have the Kings' number.
The Wizards have the Kings' number is what you just said. What an insane...
The Wizards have the Kings' number a little bit.
All right, let me ask you this on the Westbrook point before we move on, though. So Doug wants the 10-man rotation, and the 10-man rotation seems pretty set right now. Mm-hmm. You've got your starters, Monk, Keon, Clifford, Isaac Jones, and Drew Eubanks. Is Russ cracking that rotation? And who are you sliding out?
I think there's any combination of Malik and Keon. I know everybody loves Keon, but I think Malik, Keon, and he's still a rookie in Nick Clifford. I think any combination of those 3, Russ could get some minutes in. Now, I would rather him take Malik's minutes just because of development, and I'd rather the Kings continue to develop Keon and Nick and not give away those minutes to Russell Westbrook. So I would say, splitting up Malik's minutes, and what do we think Malik's going to average? He had probably 20 minutes a game, something like that, maybe a little more.
Yeah, let's say like 18, 20.
Yeah, so whoever's kind of playing better on that night. Yeah, it's a great point. The other thing is too, again, what are you trying to achieve? Because everybody got a 10-man, everybody got a rotation. That rotation might stink, but everybody has a rotation. So cracking a rotation on a bad team, Russ could crack the rotation and play over Nick Clifford or play over Keon Ellis. Do I want him to do that? No. So that's why would love to get inside of Scott Perry's brain to know what do you want out of this season? Because, yeah, if his thought process is I'd rather lose game, because they're the ones that brought up Westbrook to begin with. But if the idea is I'd rather lose games with Neek getting solid minutes and with Keon getting solid minutes, then maybe win 2 or 3 more games with Russell Westbrook, but we've cut those guys' minutes in half.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you've got 11-man rotations. It's almost like if I'm Westbrook, I kind of understand why I'm holding out on a new contract, right? Or someone else coming along, whether it's Houston or not. Because if you're not going to promise me minutes on the Kings, I'll just wait and see if some other team loses their point guard.
Just go to Houston. Well, if Houston's interested.
No, Houston can't. Houston
figure it out.
They would have to trade Tari Eason.
Well, there's a will, there's a way.
No,
there's always a way.
Not exactly. Got to get below that apron, buddy.
3-way deal. Okay, Tari to the Kings. Who's going to the? Who did?
Keon.
Eric Pincus, Keon, and Russell. Boom. Now Reed never has to. Then give us Reed too. Now Reed never has to see the court. You got Keon and you got Westbrook. What's the problem?
What is the problem?
What is the problem?
We get the number 3 pick in last year's draft.
And Tari Eason.
A starting power forward on probably not a good team, but still a starting caliber power forward for Keon Ellis, who you keep saying is a luxury, and Russell Westbrook.
Hey, man. Sometimes it's just about right timing. Sometimes it's about what you need versus, you can't win every. And this is the Danny Ainge problem. That's why he's stuck with a bunch of guys and he's not going to get anything back for them because sometimes you got to lose a trade. Hey, Houston, you're going to have to lose this trade, but you're going to get an opportunity to win a championship.
I also thought a little bit more about the Danny Ainge point after the show yesterday because that's just how my brain works now. Danny Ainge might be making a lot of bad decisions, but he got everyone's second-round picks, just fiending for second-round picks.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad he's not the Kings. The Kings, they know what to do with second-round picks.
Danny Ainge has 40.
Yeah. How about undrafted free agents and undrafted rookies? Huh? He didn't know what to do with that. Kings know what to do with that.
All he's got is Bryce Sensabaugh, who apparently they're hiding on defense.
Yeah.
Because I guess he must be this elite scorer if they're willing to hide him.
They don't have Dylan Cardwell, okay? They don't have Isaac Jones, Hot Honey Jones.
Signing off.
That's right.
Beam Man signing off.
Chris Watkins joins us on the other side. We also have your secret keyword for today for that Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Tell me, Chad, what's happening for the Drive into Fall event?
There's still time to get some adventure in when you save up to $8,600 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Willys. I love how these modern Jeep Wrangler Willys are filled with the latest and greatest tech and comforts, yet pay homage to the iconic past of the Jeep with huge off-road capability, distinctive exterior styling, and special interiors you will love.
Man, you make it sound like you're buying a modern-day piece of history.
It's true. Once you get into one of the Willys, you won't want to get out. But whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblet. Check out our certified pre-owned supercenter with nearly 200 vehicles available and over 50 under $20,000.
Whatever you need, it's at Hoblet right now. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$8,600 toll net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Willys after $4,000 factory rebates and $4,600 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. 3% net savings. Sample VIN 608744. See dealer for details.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Sacramento gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. The spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Oh, no.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles.
on Sactown Sports.
This was a request, Lil Man Jay from Chris Watkins. This is how. Do they play this? Do they play? Can we confirm? Do they play this on KNCI?
Oh, I didn't.
I'm gonna
think you were gonna
assume
go
no.
KNCI route.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume no.
It's country.
I'll check. I have the logs over here. I can see.
Get the logs.
I-
All right. Cut it, Kyle. I don't know where it goes from here. But.
Also, Chris, you don't have to watch this weird music video. There's just a bunch of white people dancing in the background,
Yeah.
like not like just like swinging their arms back and forth, like they're talking and dancing. They got a fire. It's so weird.
That song
sounded legit.
No, I'm
It
telling
sounded
you,
like
man.
it was legitimately
You come
from
to
a
a
country
barbecue
artist.
in the toe. You come to a barbecue in the Thomas. That's the first song that's
There's a
popping
couple
off.
trucks that are completely lifted off the wheels.
That is what I
right.
do on the weekends in the Thomas. Just I find
On the levee.
Just you find an empty park and you just park trucks and you sip country.
Crazy.
Chris Watkins
This
joins
is not,
us.
I did not request this. I want that on the record.
Chris, I have a question for you that I was just thinking about.
And I'm going to ask you that question right after I give this
There you
secret
go.
keyword to the Kempton Sawyer. And you've been there, right,
I
Chris?
have.
Okay, we will get to your review as well because we have
It's a
30
positive
minutes
one.
commercial-free talk, top of every hour. Welcome to the 12 o'clock hour of the Allen Stiles Show. Sactown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus Oklahoma City on November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kempton Sawyer. And $200 gift card to Revival. We can get top shelf, baby. Downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the Beam after a Kings win over the defending NBA champion. Text in today's keyword, 916-339-1140, for your chance to win. Today's keyword is DeMar. DeMar DeRozan. DEMAR. DeMar. Text that in. Your name will get thrown in that digital hat with a chance to win a stay at the Kempton Sawyer and tickets to the game. Chris, you stayed at the Kempton? You fancy?
I did stay at the Sawyer, for like a one-night thing.
Okay.
It's great. It's awesome. Like, I'm not just saying it because it was because we're promoting it, but it legitimately is. It's definitely got the nicest view of any hotel in Sacramento that I've stayed at, and of course, you can't beat the Echo and Rig downstairs.
Okay,
too, so.
that's
One
right.
night thing. I see you, Chris.
Also, like hey.
And now,
see, I keep my business private.
And now we know what Chris Watkins got
there you
going
go.
on.
It's
Thank
there's
you,
worse
Stephen
things
A.
you could do than a daycation in Sacramento.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's great. Sawyer. I also will say this is an incredibly random fact about me. The lobby of the Sawyer.
Okay.
If I could find out what that scent is,
okay,
please let me know because I'm looking for candles that is that scent specific. It's like the best smelling lobby I've ever been in. So that
smells like hope.
Yeah, it smells like hope. The airport, whatever tickles your fancy.
That is a great point. I never thought about that.
It's so good.
I've only been in the lobby like twice, but you're right. It does.
I parked by it. I parked next to it.
That maybe you get some residual whiffs.
That's right. I did. They opened the door. I walked by. They said valet. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm solid. You know, I got, I'm trying to wait.
They're calling you the valet?
Yeah. Oh, wow. See, there he goes again. 916-339-1140. The secret keyword today is DeMar. DEMAR. You have another chance.
I hear it. DeMar, I like it.
Yeah. It was DeLess last night when we were watching the Sacramento Kings. Senor Chris. Segue That's strikes right. again. And we get right into it. Chris, let's get to your. I've been teasing because obviously I'm going to overreact to the first preseason game because that's just what I do.
Sure.
What were your takeaways from the game? It's not so much my overreaction is not about the win or loss, right? It's about the stuff that they've been trying to convince us they're going to do all training camp and prior to that, and they didn't do any of it.
No, that's super fair. Like that for sure is the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
If we just want to do like the overalls, like if we don't want to stick positive or anything like that, like absolutely the main takeaway is that everything that Doug Christie was preaching all training camp, everything we heard, all the sound bites that I'm sure you guys played, very consistent, like all throughout camp, all throughout this week and a half, been very, very consistent, picking up 94 feet, setting a certain level of intensity.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
They know what you ate for breakfast type stuff, which honestly took me a second to understand what he was saying. But
they know what you ate for breakfast.
It makes sense. Doug had some really good quotes yesterday as well. But ultimately, if you would have just like played blind clips of this is what this coach has been preaching leading up into this week, and I don't know what they've been preaching over there in Toronto, but apparently whatever it is, it's getting through. The bigger point is that Toronto looked like the team that had been listening to Doug Christie the past week and a half, and the Kings looked nothing like it. Like there was Doug gave us specific numbers, 30% of the 94 feet pickups the Kings executed, which I also wonder, Doug didn't mention it, but like how much of that is if you yourself aren't scoring, you obviously aren't picking up 94 feet because the other team isn't taking the ball out and going 94 feet.
Right.
So if you're not hitting shots, how much of that can you... I wasn't looking for a specific number. I was looking for it in general, and I didn't see it. I did not see it. I saw it a couple of times, but not enough. I wouldn't have said 30% if you would have asked me for a number before that. Who knows how coaching staffs, they all have their own metric system for deflections and other things like that. So who knows the exact specific scenarios in which they're accounting for that. But it was very clear that was not something from the player's mindset that was there. And again, that could have something to do with them not taking the ball under the basket for a majority of the game. They were playing from behind pretty much from Jump Street, but it definitely was very clear. And I guess I'll just give it as a compliment to Toronto. Like the Kings knew what they had for breakfast. Like they were all up in them, and that's what it's. And the I guess good thing is that that's what it's supposed to look like. Like if you want an example of everything Doug Christie is preaching, from guys that aren't skilled, from guys that aren't Kawhi Leonard out, guys that aren't necessarily. We talk a lot about is the Kings roster built to play this Doug Christie style? There's a bunch of guys who are fighting for their NBA lives out there, playing and competing and winning against the Kings team that is full of, what do they preach, 4 all-stars on that starting lineup? So
Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
LeBron said he thinks Dennis Schroeder might be a Hall of Famer.
There you go. And from his lips to reality, it's going to happen. The bigger point is just like that is how you do it, and the Kings didn't show a shred of it.
Yeah. I struggled because, everybody, and what's funny? I haven't really seen too many people say it's just one preseason game. I think on social media last night, there were people that were saying that, but there were also a lot of people that, again, it ain't about losing. It's about the fact that this is the first time we're seeing you with Doug as, not interim. The interim is dropped.
Yep.
First time we're seeing you, Doug as the head coach, Scott Perry. This is not really Scott Perry's creation, but he's made a couple different moves. And the last time we saw you as a core with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, who got added late, and Malik Monk, and obviously Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray, you got whooped by the Mavs. Yeah. And I know it's a preseason game, but you got
Raptors. I mean, you're all the way back in the
I'm saying that's the last time we saw you.
Okay, gotcha. Yes,
you got embarrassed on your home floor. This
100%.
is the first time you get to take the floor, and I'm just not seeing it. And as far as teaching an old dog new tricks, the positives that I saw, because the rookie stuff, I just want to kind of separate the young player stuff. Yes, Dylan Cardwell looked good. Neek looked good. Neek is different because he's playing with the dudes. But the guys that played at the end of the game, cool. It's a summer league all over again. But for what did kind of go well as far as the vets are concerned, and we only saw him for the first half, but I thought Zach LaVine, who clearly likes Doug Christie, he said it time and time again, feels like Zach LaVine, at least in this first preseason game, was giving more effort defensively. That's the thing that, okay, well, clearly it looks like Zach LaVine is at least trying harder defensively. That's a start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a positive. That's been consistent through training camp as well, as Doug has definitely pointed the buy-in from Zach specifically on the defensive end, and I think it's shown a little bit. I think there was definitely some moments yesterday, specifically him and DeMar were really late on a couple rotations. DeMar more so than Zach, but I mean, to play devil's advocate on it all, I will say to an extent, like, it was just one preseason game, and I think I would say I feel more like a disappointed father, where it's like I'm more just disappointed that you guys didn't give us a good look. It's not that, like, I didn't care what the result was going to be. I don't care that the Kings, I wouldn't have cared if they made a comeback. It would have been a fun story, but like ultimately the result doesn't matter. I'm upset that you didn't give us an opportunity to fairly evaluate you, because for whatever reason, maybe it's because it was the first preseason game, which you can throw that out there as well. That was the Raptors' second preseason game. We'll see if the Kings look that kind of elevated boost in the second preseason game, where you've just shaken all the rust off, everything that comes with it. So there's two excuses to throw at you, but ultimately, I mean, I do just feel like I'm more my bigger takeaway, my overall feeling is just I'm upset that they didn't give us the opportunity to fairly evaluate them, because I don't think they're as bad as they showed yesterday, but the reality is I think that's going to be the reality on some nights, is some nights, for whatever reason, that unit is, I won't say mail it in, but there's going to be effort questions. There's going to be like, do we just give up? Like, I just think sometimes that starting unit, if they don't have the right energy to start the game, like, things could just stay flat the entirety of the night.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that's what I wanted to see. I don't know. I was joking about, it's 1,000 people on the text line will say, Allen, we love you. Thanks for coming. Glad you came back from paternity leave, all this stuff. There's the one person, right, that's on the text line that says something slick or whatever it is. That's what I think about, right? That's just kind of part of the gig, but that's what kind of grinds my gears. And it's a pride thing, I would say. And I'm not saying that the Kings don't have pride, but I am also saying I don't know how much I would care if I had $100 million in my bank account. I mean, I don't know. And if I was on year whatever, right? If I'm on year 17 or if I'm on year 10 or whatever it is, I don't know how you motivate these guys. And if Doug Christie can't motivate you, I don't know. Because the whole thing was, they weren't winning enough games. Mike Brown must have lost the locker room. Nobody's going to say that Doug Christie lost the locker room. I think at some point you just have to look at the players and say, I just don't think these are the right players for the gig. I don't personally know, Chris, and I'm thinking about this off the top of my head, so I got to be careful. I don't actually know that Doug Christie is the right – I don't think that there is a right coach for this starting lineup, but Doug Christie, to me, and it almost feels like everybody is waiting to get past this year. I think that things could go right and they could fall into an 8 seed. Anything can happen. But Doug Christie, to me, would be the perfect coach. And I know I saw what you said. We're going to talk about Kuminga because I saw what you said about the 502 podcast. But he is the perfect coach to me for a young, hungry group.
Agreed.
Not a coach for somebody who's got a couple years left, two other guys that are right in their prime and have made more money than God, and a guy in Dennis Schroeder who's just looking to be there to help out the situation. I just don't know how it's going to fit. When I hear Doug talking, it almost is, it's giving, as the kids say, it's giving college, right? It's giving, hey, let's take some pride here. We're building something. Can you really build something with dudes that are 30?
I think your first point is the most fair one, is that I don't know if there's anybody who's like, who is the perfect fit. Like, I don't know who's supposed to be able to speak to them, but I will say that I think I agree that you're with the spirit of what you're saying about Doug's message too. Like, it is a very rah-rah, like traditionally that is more built for a catered towards like a young group. I think, and that's what I said in the offseason was I think that this group should be a young group because that just feels like the kind of guys that Doug Christie is very motivational. Like even when he was on these airwaves, like the way he speaks about the game, like it's not necessarily just on an X's and O's level. Like it is more teaching you the why of why we do things as opposed to just the teach a man to fish, give a man a fish type mentality. And I think that does resonate more with the young players than your grizzled vets, than your guys who are in their primes right now. I mean, ultimately, I guess you could have just done a retread. Like that would have been the answer, is to bring in a Frank Vogel, like bringing in a Tom Thibodeau or something to someone who is trying to get the squeeze whatever's left out of their career in the same way that this collection of guys might be trying to squeeze whatever's left out of these 2 years. But I think the bigger point might be that Doug is maybe more focused on the long term, the next 3 years of identity building and growth. And when you're in it, when you're on day one or day zero even of that process, things don't really make sense and things aren't going to be as clear as maybe hopefully what they are one day. But I think it's just a bad situation ultimately. Like I think it's a situation where everybody involved, I think even Scott Perry would tell you, brother, like I didn't ask for any of this. Like this is just what I walked in here with, and every day we're trying to make the best of this situation. Like I hate to sound like I'm doing propaganda for the front office or for the team right now, but I think the reality is all parties involved are just trying to do the best they can with the situation. And I think when that's your reality, especially when you're on the ground level like the players, you're going to get exactly what you talked about where, look, man, like I don't know if I can give, like when I got $100 million in my bank account, like the reality is, we're just here right now. I'm not going to give you my 100% every day because it doesn't feel like all of our goal. Like I'm here, so I'm trying my best, but I can't. I don't have that same long-term vision if you're a DeMar DeRozan because, frankly, my long-term vision is a year or two from now.
And let me clarify. I am not saying that because they have. I'm not pocket watching, but because they have $100 million, whatever it is, in their bank account, they won't show up. What I'm saying is, Doug Christie is not going to convince them to show up or not. Either they're going to feel like showing up one day or not. Right. They're going to make that decision when they step on the court. Of course. Right? Yeah. It ain't going to be, meanwhile, I can guarantee you right now that the young guys are eating up the stuff that Doug is saying. Yeah. You can tell when they play. Yeah. You can tell when they play. They were picking up 94 feet. The young guys are eating it up. Yeah. Because they're young. This is their first coach, their first opportunity. Yeah. You can mold them. You know, when clay is soft at the beginning and you can turn it into whatever you want, you make it Gumby or whatever you want, it's different. Then you got the start, that's hard clay. You can't do anything with the hard clay.
I took 2 semesters of ceramics. You ain't got to explain it to me.
Why are we talking about Klay Thompson?
I also
bring him in too.
Yeah, why not?
You need shooting.
I mean, you need vet leadership. You need shooting. Why not?
You need more vets.
Yeah, bring Russ. Again, I heard you say, bring him. Why not? It's all right. It's okay.
For that bum Klay Thompson.
Yeah, that's insane.
So is he going to be soft or is he, at this stage of his career, where is he at?
You're on whatever the opposite of a heater on. A heater. That's what you're on.
I'm on a Tyler Hero heater.
Chris, instead of going, Westbrook going older, let's talk about the youth movement because you saw a clip from the 502 podcast on social media, and you reposted it, and it was basically them saying, to summarize, that the Kings don't really have a future, as in a future star, right? I don't know if the ship has totally sailed on Keegan Murray, but nobody thinks at this point that he'll be a star. He could be a solid player in the NBA, but not a star. Nick Clifford, going to be a solid NBA player. He's already 23, so it's a little bit, he's older than this guy, Jonathan Kuminga. Right. You said you listened to the 502 clip, which we'll play later in the show, but you listened to the 502 podcast clip, and that you said that was the best argument as far as just getting Kuminga, and when you're losing, at least you're losing for a reason.
Yeah, essentially it's I don't know if you guys played the sound clip. We posted it yesterday on our socials. Go check out our Sactown Sports 1140 socials of Doug yesterday talking about how every single night there's 2 games. There's the fight, and then there's the actual game itself.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we played it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We had I had a lot of fun with that. Beautiful. Allen wouldn't have fun with it, but I did.
So I would just say take that same exact mentality where every night you can either win you could win the fight, you can out hustle, you can compete, you can do the same. And then there's the actual result of the game, which we all very much see and is self-explanatory. Same mindset for if Jonathan Kuminga comes to the team. It's just there's the result of the game in itself, and then there's how did the future of this team look tonight, and did we take steps in a positive direction for their development? You can go 2-0 on nights, you can go 0-2, you can go 1-1, but again, it's just it gives fans, it gives everybody, front office, coach, it gives us all, especially you guys talking about this team every day.
Right.
It gives us something else to look at besides the hard standings and the results and where you stand in offense and defensive rating. There's a bigger picture that we can all clearly see. I think that's the problem that, again, we really just outlined when it comes to the guys on this team and Doug being able to. Right now, there is just one vision, and it's what this team is right now because nobody knows. You guys honestly couldn't tell me there's a single player on this team that you could guarantee will be on this roster next year.
Yeah, I mean, Keon nor Keegan have extensions yet. Keegan, if you don't get signed in what? October 22nd?
Is that his extension date? Yeah.
Well, it has to happen before the season starts, so he'd be headed to restricted free agency.
Zach LaVine's going to be here because they can't move him.
Maybe. I mean, but that's not a guarantee. Like, he'll be an expiring contract. Right? Maybe somebody's more willing to take on that money. Maybe the Kings after this season feel like we just need to, for whatever reason, who knows, just need to get him out here to start our process on all of this because, again, we don't have a vision. Are we just going to stick here in Zach LaVine quicksand for another year? And it's just – I think at some point, it just gives you something else. Maybe Nick Clifford blossoms into something that can fill that gap that maybe Kuminga would fill for right now. But to me, it just, again, gives you everybody something else to look at besides the record itself, because we know the record. And I think it has a lot to do with the emotions around the team right now from the fan base. Like, I don't think anybody's excited to go to the games. We went to the game yesterday and a fan told us, like, this is the only tickets I have bought right now. And it's a fan that you would expect to go to as many games as possible. And I think that's the feeling of a lot of people is just why. Like, what's the draw? I mean, even something, it's much like the A's, you can say. It's like, who are we putting on the marquee to bring your casual fan here on a given Thursday, on a given Saturday? Like, I don't know if the excitement is there, and I think at the very least the casual Kings fan can even say, well, how about that Kuminga kid? Like, he looks really good. Isn't that exciting for our future? We don't have that. The second we lost De'Aaron Fox, there really wasn't anybody to focus on their development in that way. And to your greater point, too, I think we just kind of have a much more clear picture of what Keegan Murray is right now. And maybe that could have changed our mind on all of this.
It's crazy to even say this out loud. It's actually worse than the A's. Because you could argue the A's they got tons
Jacob
of dudes
Wilson, they got Nick Kurt,
under 25.
Butler,
it's actually worse than the A's.
Solid point,
right? in the long term.
You could maybe make the case that they were the A's if it was a Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, Maxime Reynaud led team.
If you moved on from some of the older the older guys,
it's like if they still had Matt Chapman and Marcus Semien.
Exactly. Another thing about the Kings, as you're watching, because you were in the building yesterday, and I was not, but even just watching and from the kind of listed heights, this is something that I don't necessarily think about with the Kings a lot. Mm-hmm. But do the Kings seem small?
Yeah, you never think about height. Yeah,
No. I'm saying for the Kings specifically.
I think he's short, Tim. I think he's short.
I'm saying for the Kings specifically.
Do they seem short? I mean,
do they seem like a smaller team?
Not if Keon's 6'6".
I don't think so. No, I mean, I think it's just the problem that we've always had is that we don't have the wings. Like, I think Dennis Schroeder's like a long point guard. He's got incredibly long wingspan. He's probably listed at 6'3", 6'4". On top of that, DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine, you would probably say are bigger size 2s. They aren't a bigger size 3. And again, Keegan isn't necessarily a bigger 4. And I guess you could say Sabonis isn't necessarily a 7-footer or anything like that. And that's kind of
that's not their problem. Though.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't say they are short. I would say they're not tall. If there's a clear difference in that.
That's the most Kings thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's the most Kings saying I've ever heard.
Like, they're definitely not, they're not rocking a bunch of bless him, Isaiah Stevens out there. Isaiah Stevens is like maybe 6 feet tall. Like if we had Darius Garland, Isaiah Stevens, and Davion Mitchell, and then our 2 was just Malik Monk and Keon, I would probably say so. But I think just the bigger problem is that as we've talked about year over year over year, it's those in betweens. You could probably literally go on Basketball Reference. I don't know if it's still the case, but like you look at who is the 6'7" through 6'9" players on the Kings. I think it's just Keegan Murray now that Trey Lyles is gone. Like I think Neek is listed at 6'5", Terrence Davis listed at 6'5", Doug McDermott I think might be listed at 6'6" or 6'7", but they just don't have anybody in that forward wing hybrid spot where I
think technically DeRozan is 6'6", but he doesn't really. That's not helping anything.
No, and I mean, and he would play small as a he just really can't play the 3 anymore because he's not fast enough. Like it feels like he. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe a whole separate conversation.
Last thing for you, Chris, before we get you out of here. Thanks for stopping by. This Dennis Schroeder stuff and how glowingly they've spoken about Dennis Schroeder, which is great. Yeah, I wanted to see it. Very small sample size. We just had the preseason.
Was he 0 for? I think he was 0 for yesterday, wasn't he?
I know he had 1 assist and he
was 1 of 5.
Yeah, 1 of 5.
5 points.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 points. 0 for 2. The 3-point shot, Chris, was not terribly smooth, in my opinion. There's worse out there for sure. But the way that they've been talking about Dennis Schroeder is just one game, and I was talking with Brendan about this as well. How do you diagnose what Dennis – and you've been really high on Dennis Schroeder and what he can bring to the team. I didn't see it last night. No. It's only one game, but I feel like they're not even sure – what Dennis Schroeder's job is yet. That's what it looked like last night.
I think it's tough because a big thing that they've been mentioning specifically with Dennis is the 94 feet element of everything. Like he specifically is supposed to be the point of attack defender that is setting the tone for the 94 feet. And again, we didn't see much or any of that last night. And so I think that's obviously a huge point where you're meant to feel his impact in that specific spot, and he just gave you nothing there. And so that's definitely a problem. I think that.
But how weird is that, though? Like, is there no? Because somebody said you think his legs might be a little tired from Eurobasket.
It definitely could be.
And maybe Doug is protecting him because when Doug, hey Dennis, go pick up. Like, what am I missing? Hey Dennis, go. He's right there on the sideline. Dennis, go pick up 94 feet.
Pick him up. Yeah. Hey, remember that thing that we've literally the only thing we've been doing? Like
what are we missing
do
here?
That? No, I
and then he's got to do 2 a days with the Kings.
I think it's a fair question for sure. They could be exhausted. It's not really an excuse. It's especially not an excuse to do it, to not do it in a game. I mean, that's, I don't really have an answer. I mean, it's pretty confusing to not see that element of it. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I think that he's somebody that I expect to be solid for this team, but I feel like they've definitely hyped him up.
Okay.
They've undoubtedly hyped him up too much, but I think that was more so from a standpoint of they went from literally having nothing, from being in the desert to now having a faucet that drips all the time. It's like you go from complete starvation to at least I know what this tastes like, and I think that's really what it was they just kind of got lost in the sauce of praising how good it was to just have anybody running the show. And even still last night, you see like Dennis Schroeder played backup point guard and then in the first rotation, and Malik Monk played some backup. Like they still don't really have an answer.
And that goes back to the Westbrook
anyone
thing.
Besides. Exactly. Yeah. I think I just think that it's something that has to work for them, which is also not really a spot that you want to be in. I think it's interesting that they've been praising his defense so much, and yet he's never made an all-defensive team.
I'm telling you, and I wasn't trying to sound like a hater or anything.
No, but there's a line. There is a line where it's like we can compliment this guy, we can talk about what he brings and why it's a huge benefit to us, but at the same time, like, let's not act like we are expecting an all-star season. And again, let's not talk about his huge addition to this team being defense and how much that's going to help change the culture here when, again, he himself, who's been around the block and been around the league for a long time, like he's never made an all-defensive team.
Yeah, I do think, and we're up against it, but we can always go a little over with the guy, Chris Watkins. But I do think in closing, if you've ever been on a team and you're getting ready for a season, you always feel like you're a good team.
Of course,
right?
especially at the beginning.
And when you're scrimmaging each other, oh my goodness. You know how many baseball teams I've been on? Man, we got this dude at shortstop. Our 3-hitter is the center fielder is nasty. Right. And then you get out there and play and you think, oh, we're not our two starter is getting shelled. Our 3-hitter can't hit the curveball. Right. But we didn't know this while in camp getting ready for the season. I don't know if it's training camp goggles or what. I think they just got a little bit lost in the sauce at training camp. And I said the same thing about when I watch Hard Knocks, right? With
for sure.
Oh, this team's going to win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be incredible.
Incredible.
I mean, watch Last Chance U.
Right.
In the first 2 episodes, you're like, is this going to be another state championship team?
They're going to state,
They go 2-11. And so... Yeah, no, I mean it's everybody believes that they're going to win a championship in week 1, and I mean that's why it is so interesting that the one big takeaway during training camp was, they're super together, the vibes are great. Yeah. I think even Zach LaVine said on media day, like, shoot, they better be great. Like, it's day 1. We haven't done any. We have no reason to be mad at each other. So the real test is going to come later down the road. But,
those first 20 games.
It's going to be interesting.
Those first 20 games. Always interesting having Chris Watkins on. Great stuff as always. Be sure to follow Chris Watkins on social media. Also, check out all of our good work and his good work on SactownSports.com. When we return, Kevin Pelton gives a little bit of optimism to Kings fans. What? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Thanks again to Chris Watkins for joining us. Great stuff. As we keep I think that was a fairly optimistic conversation. Well, we tried for the most part. As we keep it going with Kevin Pelton, that's right, of ESPN, win projections for all 30 NBA teams, all right? And a lot of these are above what you would expect. He's got, in the Western Conference, the Thunder at 59. This one set people in a real tiffy. Golden State Warriors he has at number 2. Golden State Warriors, their ESPN bet total is 46.5. Kevin Pelton has them at 56.1, which I personally think is crazy. Denver he has at 3. Los Angeles Clippers at 4. I think that's a little high as well. The Rockets at 5. That's where I think a lot of people are, and maybe it's the Fred VanVleet thing, but where a lot of people are kind of confused. The Lakers at 6. That's another one. A lot of people have the Lakers earlier. The Grizzlies at 7. I don't get that one. The Timberwolves at 8. That's what I'm talking about. Now, that's what I'm talking about.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, he's got the Timberwolves at 8. The over-under is at 49.5. He's got them slated at 43.7. He's got the Mavericks at number 9, 3 games over their projected win total. The projected win total is at 40. He's got them at 43. And sneaking into the play-in, the Sacramento Invitational in the West, as well as the Miami Invitational in the East, or on the East, the Sacramento Kings. Listen to this, people. ESPN Bet has the Kings at 34.5. We've said it time and time again. Kevin Pelton has the projected wins for your Sacramento Kings. Light the beam, the best tradition in the NBA, possibly in sports. Projected wins, Kevin Pelton, 43. $43.5. He has them 9 games better than their projected total. Now, I don't know if you watched the game last night, but 43.5 games better than their 43.5 as their projected wins, and ESPN Bet has them at 34.5. Why they project to be better than their total. This is what Kevin Pelton writes. Similar to Dallas, Sacramento appears to have more talent than the narrative about the team suggests. Remember, the Kings won 40 games a season ago with a positive point differential, and while they dropped to a 36-win pace with Zach LaVine in the lineup after the De'Aaron Fox trade, they've upgraded at point guard with Dennis Schroeder. The ceiling might not be high for Sacramento, but it's unlikely the Kings are anywhere near as out of the mix as their line suggests. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. 34.5 is crazy.
Man, even the most optimistic projection has him as the 10 seed. And look, 43.5 win.
But hold on, Kyle. 10, but he's got the Mavericks who not healthy, right? And then he's got the Grizzlies at 7. That's not happening.
Yeah, we don't believe in them.
So they're 8. They're really 8.
But then it would truly be the Sacramento Invitational.
Yeah.
Because we'd actually get a home game.
Well, they definitely have 2. You would be the Invitational. Hey, you got 2 games out. They're not winning the first one.
Well,
not on the road, not at the 8th seed.
Is DeMar DeRozan, I guess Zach LaVine too, they've both kind of been to the play-in just year after year after year now. This is going to be the 3 years in a row going on. They've been to the play-in. Valanciunas isn't even here anymore, and he was the play-in god. He's been to every play-in tournament.
Yeah.
But, man, I hate that it's going to become the Sacramento Invitational.
I can't believe, as much as, look, I'm happy that Kevin has, I don't know if I'm actually happy because of the whole tankathon thing, but at least he has them in the play-in, and in this breakdown specifically, the Kings, and I know we are far, far away from this happening, but the Kings would get an opportunity at revenge heading to Dallas to take on the Dallas Mavericks.
No, don't do it again. I can't handle Klay Thompson hitting more threes on us.
This time in Dallas, and if they won, they would take the winner or the loser of Memphis and Minnesota.
I'm going to lose my mind if they go to Dallas, are down 20 points in the play-in, and Dallas is chanting Fire Nico.
Yeah.
Like their version of Light the Beam is just Fire Nico.
And then they would face the loser of the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. So they either have to go to Memphis or Minnesota. Obviously, we are getting way ahead of ourselves.
So the exact same situation as last year. Because remember, Minnesota was, I'm sorry, Memphis.
No, yeah, Minnesota wasn't in.
Sorry, Memphis was the 8.
Yes.
Where if they had won the play-in, they would have had to go to Memphis. So let's
Right.
just assume Minnesota's going to beat Memphis because Minnesota's really good. It would literally be the exact same scenario for the 3rd year in a row. And if you make it out of the play-in, you get to play the Thunder for the 3rd year in a row.
Insane. He's got, like I said, he's got the Warriors 10 games better than they're projected. Why they project to be better than their total, the Warriors might have the single most surprising projection for any team, nearly 4 wins clear of the non-Oklahoma City field. Having added Jimmy Butler for a full season, they won at a 63-win clip with Butler in the lineup last season. The Warriors also have 11 players who rate better than league average, tied with the Thunder for most of any team. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? Y'all know where I'm from. I had the quad box yesterday. I had the multi-view going, and the Warriors, they never have a bad day. They're always happy. They're always running around on the bench. It's always a great time out there at Chase Center. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not worried about the Warriors because the Kings have bigger fish to fry. But yeah, I might have been, maybe because I'm now in Sacramento and I've been in Sacramento for a couple years now. It's starting to wear off on me, but I might have downplayed the Warriors a little bit. I don't see them being the 2 seed. Absolutely not. But this might work for them. Maybe it's the Jimmy Butler thing amongst all else, and I just don't trust Jimmy Butler to play enough games. But when they are healthy, I do think there'll be a problem. I don't think they'll beat the Thunder, but that might be the only team that right now, obviously nobody's played yet, but the Thunder are the only team I probably know for a fact that the Warriors won't beat.
Yeah, that's all well and good, Allen. 56.5 wins and 2 seeds and things like that. But I need to know, how many fights does Kevin Pelton think the Warriors are going to win this year? Because the Kings are going to win every fight.
Well, you got to be careful when you talk about the Warriors in fights, because I'm not thinking of the Doug Christie quote when you say that. But now I understand your reference.
Yeah, how many fights are we winning? Like 43.5 wins for the Kings is good, but when you win 82 fights, I mean, that's got to count for something.
Somebody said that we should create a segment where we do measure the amount of fights that the Kings win, and we should make a segment out of that. Somebody said that on the text line. So we might have to do just that. Let's talk about Scott Perry, friend of the show. Is it crazy for Scott Perry to have takeaways from the preseason? And if it's not crazy, what should he be looking for? Also, there's a big man from the East that might be available. Would he work with Domantas Sabonis, or would you move him or move Sabonis to acquire this big man? Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
For the latest from Kings training camp,
Tune in to Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Everybody knows that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the spot to get yourself a brand new car. That's why people are coming from all over. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. But they also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes and models, every one of them top quality, hand-selected by General Manager Chuck Dean. Over 70 vehicles below $30,000, over 25 below $20,000. You can see that full lineup at SacSuperstore.com. And if you find a lower price somewhere else, they'll match it. And on top of that, the best car buying experience anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I found out that one of my players was vaping, and I said, hey, right now's the time to be honest with me. He said almost everybody in my team was vaping. The next day, all the parents came in. I said, how many of you guys think that your kids are vaping? Not one of them raised their hand. There's a joint fight to make something better. We don't sit back and let it happen.
Coach Sanchez is exposing Big Tobacco's playbook. Learn how he and other Californians are beating Big Tobacco at undo.org.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
A men's health moment with Revive Men's Health.
Low energy, low drive, weight gain, and mood changes can all be signs of low testosterone. Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has treated thousands of men for low T.
Learn more at revivemenshealth.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Bottom of the 12 o'clock hour. And we are continuing to be optimistic about the Kings. Because why not? It's still early. But even so, things didn't look great for the Kings last night. And if you're Scott Perry, what should you be thinking? Or what would you be looking at? Talking to Chris Watkins, who joined us. And obviously, Scott Perry didn't make a lot of these decisions, right? You're not even really looking at your baby. You know, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but it's something that you are now, it will become your baby, but it's just not your baby yet. So you've made a couple different moves. Some of your fingerprints are on it, but it's not completely yours yet. So you're watching it, obviously hoping that it goes well, but if it doesn't go well, what's your connection to it so far? You've had conversations with these guys, but now that you're seeing it, you think, I don't know if this is going to work or not, because it didn't work last season. And obviously, since it didn't work last season, you know, they moved on from who they put in charge to begin with, and here they are now. So I think the big thing, and I know a lot of people are talking about blowing it up, and you might get your wish. You just might get your wish, and that's what we've talked about, right? Even getting to Kevin Pelton, who has the Kings finishing 10th, which is one of the higher projections that we've seen. That's where the Kings have been. Kyle just said it's the same teams. The Timberwolves, they were working through the Karl Anthony Towns stuff. The same teams stuck in the same spots for the most part, year in, year out. And some of these teams are going in a specific direction. Some of these teams aren't. So if for the third year you're stuck in the 9-10 spot and you're Scott Perry, do you say, hey, there's just no point in us playing this thing through, right? Maybe at that point, and we know what it looked like last season, there are a bunch of teams clustered up, and then the 9 and the 10, there's no way they're catching the 8 seed. What if it's like that? So yeah, you're the 9, but you have no chance of catching the 8 seed. So not only is it not worth it to go out and get somebody to give up assets, but it's not really worth it to keep the team as is. I mean, being in the 9 seed, we joke, call it the Sacramento Invitational. Being in the 9-10 seed every season is nothing to show off about. So if you're Scott Perry, you watched the game last night. Obviously, hey, it's just one game. We're working on things, but ultimately, where does he think this team will go? Again, not really his team. Not yet. There are a couple of different pieces of it. Speaking of how he could improve this team, Chris Mannix dropped a bunch of heaters these last couple days, and one of the names that he mentioned was one Jarrett Allen of the Cavs. Here's the quote. Elsewhere, teams are monitoring how Cleveland starts the season. The Evan Mobley-Jarrett Allen tandem has been a smashing success and done a lot to protect the Cavs' small-ish backcourt. Still, most believe, and that's a good note for the Darius Garland thing, Darius Garland going to the Kings with Domantas Sabonis as your shot blocker, that'd be rough. You got Dylan Caldwell, though, Maxime, and Keegan. I guess I should be saying Keegan Murray.
Beam man signing off.
Yeah. Still, getting back to the quote, still, most believe Mobley's long-term future is at center, and Allen, a durable rim protector who shot a league-high 70.6% last season, could be available for the right mix of rotation players. Now, that last piece is very important to me. Right mix of rotation players. So the idea of maybe the Cavs wanting Domantas Sabonis doesn't really make a difference, because sounds like they would just want to, again, like a lot of these teams are doing, they just want to have the strength and numbers type vibe and have as many players that can get plugged in to playoff series as possible. I don't think that the Cavs would want to take on another big contract in Domantas Sabonis, and Evan Mobley and Domantas Sabonis, if they want Evan Mobley to play the 5, that's Domantas Sabonis at the 4. And I know we go into big man, tall man, shoot the 3, not shoot the 3. I guess it could work. I don't know if it's the most beautiful marriage ever.
It's not my first choice if I'm putting it together.
At that point, you would just keep Jarrett Allen. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Also, if I'm Cleveland, like, Mobley and Sabonis make more sense together. So, like, if I'm trading Jarrett Allen, maybe I'm packaging him to try and get Sabonis. Now, they'd have to trade a bunch of their depth in order to make it happen. At that point, I don't know if it's worth it, because they're they're further becoming a less deep team. They would be going deeper into the we're going all in on 4 guys model, which I don't think is sustainable for them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Mobley and Sabonis. I'm not saying Jared Allen and Sabonis. I'm saying Mobley and Sabonis. What could that look like?
Oh, yeah, but the only way that would happen is going to Cleveland because there's no way they would trade Evan Mobley for anything the Kings have.
Right. So as far as that's concerned, now let's get to the other conversation of if the Kings were interested in Jared Allen. Again, and I saw Sam Quinn. I took something that Sam Quinn said yesterday because there was a report, and I guess I don't know if I'm necessarily burying the lead here, but there was a report, and this is from Evan Sittery, so people will go back and forth on this type of stuff, especially if he doesn't have a full-on reference, right? And Evan Sittery, I think it actually is Sidery. League executives project the Kings as one of the most likely teams to blow it up. A roster with win-now players, Domantas Sabonis, LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk. A slow start could lead them to becoming a top seller. Sabonis is viewed as having the most trade value. Then Sam Quinn quote tweeted it and said, "I'm really not convinced Sabonis has that much trade value. How many teams are eager to pay 3 years of max money to a center who doesn't really defend and badly underperform in his only playoff series as a starter? It's 2025. Teams don't blindly pay for stats anymore." And I don't want to lose the plot here, but my response to Sam and in general is that what Domantas Sabonis did those years ago, 2023, is that the most damning performance, single performance that wasn't a bad performance in the history of the NBA? Because what I said to Sam is, just say you think he's overpaid. Why the hell are we still talking about that one playoff series? There's more of an argument if he is like James Harden, right? People call him a playoff choker.
Well documented.
One random series where he didn't play up to his standards, but wasn't a bum. Why are we still talking about this?
It's just because it's the only one we have.
But why are we still talking? I don't understand. Just say he's overpaid. Who cares about that one playoff series? He's overpaid. And was that team perfect? No, he didn't. And maybe his point is, he's just overpaid. Just say he's overpaid. Well, why are we still talking about that playoff series?
Yes, you're right to that point. But the other weird part is saying like teams aren't blindly trading for numbers anymore.
Yeah.
When all of the nerd stats say Sabonis is underappreciated, right? Like his stats are not that impressive. Like he leads the league in rebounds,
right?
But the nerd stats are the ones that'll tell you just how valuable he actually is, which is kind of weird.
So I'm not trying to lose a plot, but talking about these trades and whether the Kings would want to add Jared Allen to Sabonis or whether you would try to trade Sabonis for Jared Allen if the Cavs decided, you know what, we do think that he's somebody that could help us and be a little bit different than Jared Allen. So that led me to what Sidery and Sam Quinn had to say. But as far as Jared Allen is concerned, I think he's a heck of a basketball player. There's no way. I wouldn't say no way. And this is what makes Domantas Sabonis confusing, is that people will say, oh, well, he needs a shot blocker, but he also needs somebody to space the floor. That's why there's only one person, right? And that's kind of that's basically Jaren Jackson Jr. because Jared Allen, as much as he shot 70% from the floor because he's right there at the rim, you cannot pair, I don't think, unless that jump shot, and that three, we didn't talk about this. He definitely is trying to shoot that three faster. He was trying to be quick on the trigger yesterday, and I don't think they went in, but he was trying to be faster with his shot.
Well, it's kind of worthless if they're not going in.
I agree with you, and I would also say you don't necessarily have to be quicker if people aren't guarding you, right? When people start guarding you, that's a little bit different. But with that being said, I don't see Jared Allen and Domantas Sabonis working that well together. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
So as much as I love to fire up the trade generator, I just don't think it's a good fit. Not as of right now, based on the collection of pieces that the Kings have. 1 o'clock hour coming up. Chris Mannix has more heaters And the Utah Jazz, again, somehow better PR than the Kings, but it's kind of a disaster over there. That has led to one elite player being open. We'll tell you who it is when we return. Now, Sal, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry. Not that kind of pros. As in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months, they want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Sactown Sports has your ticket to the biggest live events going on in our region. First up, get in the game Halloween weekend at the Sinners and Saints Halloween Party and Costume Contest at the venue at Thunder Valley, October 25th. Then, country fans, the spotlight's on the brand new Channel 24 venue in Sacramento as Cameron Marlowe takes the stage October 28th. Comedy lovers, don't miss the one and only Trevor Noah, November 9th at the venue at Thunder Valley. The action keeps rolling with Jesse McCartney at Channel 24 Sacramento on November 14th. The same night, legends, the Isley Brothers bring the soul to Hard Rock Live. Rock icons Heart storm Hard Rock Live on November 21st, followed by the Stray Cats November 23rd. Laugh it up with Mike Epps on December 5th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Sactown Sports is your home court for live events. Head to SactownSports.com. That's SactownSports.com for more info.
The Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers win an absolute thriller in overtime over LA, 26-23, to improve the 4-1. San Francisco getting a critical stop on 4th and 1 at the end of the game with LA driving inside the red zone. Mac Jones is now 3-0 as the 49ers starting quarterback. The Niners are back in action in Tampa Bay. Catch the game Sunday beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Some good points being made about the Sabonis stuff, although that is not what Sam Quinn was referring to. Sean on the Sack Chat says, it's not just that one. He was awful in the play-in game last year. Yeah, I think I would say that what happened last year in a vacuum was worse than the playoff series. It was, I mean, and you could combine, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Obviously they lost, but you could argue, I'll put both of them. I would say that both play-in games to me was worse, and I look at it worse than that playoff series. And remember, I was covering the Warriors during that playoff series.
So here's where I'm apprehensive on it. Sabonis' ankle injury was supposed to keep him out for 5 weeks, and he came back after 10 days.
You're talking about the Pelican season, the first play.
No, last year.
Last year.
Yeah, he got hurt in March. It was an ankle injury, and they were like, oh, he's going to be out 4 weeks, which we were thinking like, oh, the season's over. And then he came back in 10 days.
Right.
So I'm kind of apprehensive on dogging him for A, 1 game sample size, and B, I'm going to chalk that up to injury for Sabonis. Kind of the whole back half of the season. Also, the assistant GM had left, and one of the coaches left to go to Florida State in the middle of the season, and a lot of stuff happened.
So you're just
I'm just all excuses.
Just
all excuses. Yeah, just giving him all the excuses.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to separate it. I just think a lot of people, I've just never heard people have bad playoff series, right? And I get it. It's connected to how much money he makes, but it's just funny, and maybe I'm getting caught up on semantics. It's just funny how it's just a kind of a crutch, right? Well, remember that playoff series? And I just feel like the further removed we get from it, it's just funny to me that it just still gets brought up to this day. Why? And not to mention, his ribs were cracked. Draymond was A-Town stomping on his ribs. I'm just kidding. Well, maybe.
Oh, also that whole season, he had the avulsion fracture on his hand. So
yeah, it's just say you think he's overpaid. It's that simple.
I will say, I was going back through that series recently and just kind of looking at stuff. I had forgotten that in the game 3, which is the one that Draymond was suspended, he did have 15 points and 6 turnovers, and Kevon Looney had 20 rebounds. Like, Kevon Looney dogged him in that game 3, and I just had they could have put the Warriors away for good, and he got absolutely dogged by Looney. It was worse than I'm even probably remembering it.
Sure. I think it, depending on who you are, you remember it worse than it is. Depending on who you are, you remember it better than it was as well. It's just funny that I just think you can make the point without bringing up, and to me, it's just another small sample size, right? And I know I'm comparing it to the play-in games, but I'm throwing them all in the small sample size category. I think whatever your opinion of Domantas Sabonis is, should be that opinion without that one playoff series. That's how I feel.
Oh, I agree, because I don't even agree with Sam's point about the playoff series. I just only make the point it is the only sample size that we have of Domantas Sabonis in the playoffs, which we talk about it all the time. There's some players that elevate their game in the playoffs, and there's some players that stay the same, and there's some players that diminish. And we know Sabonis is an amazing regular season player. We just have no sample size of him in the playoffs.
And the one was bad, or not as good as he typically plays. But I'm not going to sit here and say he is a playoff dropper. I need at least 2. And maybe people would say, well, Allen, if you combine, and we can look back, Kyle, when you get a second, because I know it was bad. If we could pull up Pelicans play-in game and Mavericks play-in game, but that's not what people talk about, right? Nobody ever brings up, because Sean, you're right, but people aren't bringing that up. They're only talking about that one playoff series and how he didn't show up the way he should have shown up. And that is not incorrect, but it's just funny to me that we're still talking about it.
All right, Pelicans play-in game. I don't even remember what he did in that Warriors game where they just blew him out.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, fine. Let's see. Sabonis, 42 minutes, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, shot 9 of 14 from the field, 5 of 5 at the free throw line, 4 turnovers, -7 in the box score, and they lost by 7 points.
What did De'Aaron do?
35 points on 29 shots, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, -3 in the plus minus.
And my guess is that the rest of the team didn't do jack.
Keon Ellis, 0 points in 28 minutes.
Right, because that was right after he balled out against the Warriors.
Yeah, Trey Lyles, 0 points in 13 minutes. Sasha Vezenkov.
Malik Monk.
Huh?
No Malik Monk.
Yeah, no Malik Monk. Sasha Vezenkov, 11 minutes, 2 points, which, by the way, they released that NBA survey thing today, and one of the questions was who is the best player not in the NBA, and Sasha Vezenkov was the winner.
He's going to get another shot at it.
I don't think he wants it.
And there was no Kevin Huerter as well, right?
Yeah, no Kevin Huerter. Well, Kevin Huerter had been done for a while because of the shoulder.
Yes.
Mavericks game. Yeah, so just
That's not a bad game to me. Like, that's not a bad game to me.
So for reference, the non-players besides Fox, Sabonis, Harrison Barnes, and Keegan Murray had 12 points. 10 of them were Davion Mitchell.
That's insane.
Yeah, so back to the play-in game last year. Sabonis, 37 minutes, 11 points, 13 rebounds, 5 of 13 from the field, 5 turnovers, 2 steals, -26.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
What? How many points?
11 on 5 of 13 from the field.
How many rebounds?
13.
How many assists?
5.
Yeah,
2 steals.
Like, that to me, one game, I get it. To your point, Kyle, maybe he wasn't healthy, but that was a worse look to me.
Damn, DeMar DeRozan took 28 shots in that game. What a
That was a worse look to me.
Yeah, although I'm willing to let that one go. God, I forgot. 44-19, they got outscored in that second quarter.
Honestly, I am getting caught up on semantics just because they're only talking about that one series. If Sam had said, DeMonte, if you're counting, because play-in is postseason,
yeah.
If he had said that, if you look at the playoff, anytime he's been in the postseason, and even though the Pelicans was a good game, it's a solid game, but he gets paid a lot of money. You got the Warriors series, you got a decent game against the Pelicans, which they lost. So then again, empty stats. And then you have an abysmal game against the Mavericks. That would bug me much less than only hanging on to the one playoff series. It's just, whatever your opinion of Sabonis should be, we do not need to continue to talk about that one series.
Yeah, God, my heart just hurt seeing plus 31 for Klay Thompson in that game.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you did it.
For that bum Klay Thompson.
It was your fault.
Klay played the long game on that one. Also, Sam Quinn had to clarify as a starter because people forget Sabonis was on both his rookie year with Westbrook, the year Westbrook won the MVP and averaged a triple-double for the first time. I can't remember who put them out that year, but they lost in the first round that year. And he, coming off the bench, was on that Pacer team that almost beat LeBron in the 2018 Cavs that were just bums, went to 7 games. So as a starter. Domantas Sabonis technically has more playoff games as a bench player than he does as a starter, but since becoming an all-star, Domantas Sabonis has only played in 7 playoff games.
I'm not trying to do the defend Domantas Sabonis thing, and I see people on the text line, doing the opposite of that. It is kind of funny. I love to take the pulse on how Kings fans do feel about Domantas Sabonis at this point in time. They use the Fox and the Ox and being tied to De'Aaron Fox, and now him just kind of being the guy by himself. What does that look like? But it's just funny to me that he's a playoff dropper because of one playoff series. Most guys, and now if you want to argue that it's empty stats, that's why they're not getting to the playoffs, I can't argue that. But he's a playoff dropper, one playoff series. Come on.
No, you don't have to tell me twice to go larger sample size. I'm the anti-small sample size guy, so I'm happy to. It's funny how this is kind of flipped. You're now you, Allen Stiles, who's freaking out over preseason games. You're I need a larger sample size guy.
No. It depends on, there's reactions and then there's narratives, right? If you got to earn a narrative, in my opinion, and I don't know if Domantas Sabonis earned the narrative of this. He's completely useless. And also, it's what really happened versus what people think happened. the narrative is that Domantas Sabonis is completely useless in the playoffs. And I just don't think that's true. I can't confirm it, but on the other side, you can't confirm the other side of it because those numbers were not abysmal.
I also don't feel like he's a bum in the playoffs is the narrative. It's just that It's just that he's a playoff dropper. Well, also, I think for some people, like I know Nick Wright is kind of a Sabonis hater in a way where he just makes the point, well, you're never in the playoffs, so therefore you're not that valuable.
And that's what I'm saying. If you want to argue that it's empty calories, I can't really argue with you. Or I would say, well, look at the rest of the roster.
Yeah. By the way, that extends to the Pacers, too, because remember, when Sabonis first became an all-star, it was the year that Oladipo blew out his quad, and like Oladipo was his other all-star. So I don't think he's ever had an all-star teammate outside of that one De'Aaron Fox season.
Well, from one player with perceived empty calories to another, Chris Mannix, I told you he was on a heater. Apparently, the Jazz are very open to trading Lauri Markkanen. Okay? And that is... name is brought up most frequently when discussing names to watch at the trade deadline. So Danny Ainge decided to do things backwards, refused to trade Lauri Markkanen, gave him a bleep ton of money for absolutely no reason. And just like we tried to tell Danny Ainge, these timelines don't add up. And it took him a year to realize that these timelines don't add up. And in the world of the never say uncle, keep this gravy train rolling, and we will not run Tankathon. If we are the Sacramento Kings, the ownership, everyone associated with the Kings, we will not blow this thing up. Would you look at Lauri Markkanen, and who would you be willing to give up? I think the initial thing, Kyle, as we think about the trade generator and things like that, the problem is to that point of Danny Ainge's hard-headedness is now you have him at $46.3 million coming off a down year where he was a little bit injured and they were a little bit tanking, and here we are. So I'm looking here. There's no way. The only thing I would say is maybe, you know where I'm going with this, maybe he would do it if you're Danny Ainge and you're just trying to rush to get to the stink, literally just based on timing, you take Zach LaVine because you're trading years, right? Zach LaVine for Lauri Markkanen because Zach LaVine has 2 years left, Lauri Markkanen has 4. So Lauri's making 46.3, Zach LaVine's making 47.4. You get another 4. I know he's not a dog defensively, but you get a 4, you move Keegan Murray to the 3. And Danny Ainge does it because at the very least, he knows that he'll only have Zach LaVine for 2 more years if he did it right now, whereas the 4 years for Lauri Markkanen. That's a tough one, Kyle. I actually, funny enough, as I think I'm at 85% as to saying yes about trades. I don't think I'm doing it. I think I can see the light. No disrespect to Zach LaVine. Love Zach LaVine. I think he's got a hilarious personality, by the way. Kind of that dry humor. Go check out that interview with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross if you missed it. but you're so close. And Lauri Markkanen, you talk about playoff dropper. We just don't know enough about Lauri Markkanen as far as winning basketball. That would be the all empty calories team with DeMontis, as far as the NBA is concerned. Not me saying it. Please, not me. But Lauri Markkanen, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan, the all empty calories team.
Man, that's brutal, just to say it like that. Would it finally open up an opportunity for Keegan Murray? Finally, could Keegan play the three?
Yes, finally.
Finally. After all these years.
4 years is too much, brother.
Oh, look, remember over the summer, I know there's been a lot of content, but remember we did the exercise of the worst contracts in the NBA? And we concluded that Markkanen was one of the three we could say for certain was worse than Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
It is one of the two worst contracts in the NBA, and the only one above it, I think, is Paul George.
Look, earlier in the show, we were talking about pride, and that was Danny Ainge. That's that pride talking. What is that from Stomp the Yard? Yeah, that's that pride talking. Danny Ainge was too prideful, and it doesn't stop there with Danny Ainge. Okay, and this is from Tony Jones of The Athletic. Another guy, Danny Ainge, was being prideful. The Utah Jazz and Walker Kessler will not reach an agreement on a rookie-scale contract extension, league sources tell The Athletic, which clears the way for the starting center to reach restricted free agency next summer. So this could be the same situation as Keegan, by the way.
Yeah,
same
basically.
situation as Keegan.
Except they've actively tried to trade him for years now, Walker Kessler.
But they weren't doing it in good faith.
No, they were asking the Lakers for Austin Reeves and 2 firsts.
So 2 guys that Danny Ainge is begging. Honestly, I guess you could trade for Walker Kessler too if you believe that you can keep him in free agency. But 2 guys now he's begging for someone to take off of his hands. But Lauri Markkanen, it's so funny, Kyle. A couple years ago, you could have had whoever the Kings were offering, obviously not Keegan. The Warriors were gung-ho on trying to get Lauri Markkanen, and these were good deals. I know the Warriors, it was, funny enough, you talk about pride to pride, the Jazz were refusing to take anything less than market value for Lauri Markkanen. The Warriors refusing to move off of Jonathan Kuminga for Lauri Markkanen. Look at this. It's a Spider-Man meme with these people, and now they're both ended up in brutal situations.
At least it tells us they would have lost the trade, both teams.
Yeah, just everyone lost. Everyone lost. So I don't know who would be. I just don't know enough about Lauri Markkanen to take on 4 years at $46 million. Now, on the flip side, you are the Kings. And if Scott Perry has his own choice, he can make his own choice. If he is being encouraged to not blow it up, could Lauri Markkanen be somebody that you say, hey, here's a positive. I think Zach LaVine is a good fit, but I think because you have Domantas Sabonis, Lauri Markkanen would be a more important fit to add to the team than having Zach LaVine. Now, you're paying for it in the 2 extra years, but you would get a real 4. You could go, let's do it right now. Domantas Sabonis, Lauri Markkanen at the 4.
Oh, Markkanen's contract is longer than Sabonis's.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
But it's close enough, all right? Keegan Murray at the 3.
Monk or
DeRozan. I don't think DeRozan will still be there, but let's just say DeRozan, and then you have Schroeder. That team, I don't know if that team makes the playoffs.
No, that's a 10 seed.
Is that an 8?
That's a 10.
Is it an 8?
No.
Can I get an 8? So it does make more sense, though, than this current team. It does.
Yeah, because you're getting rid of a guard for a forward, but it still doesn't change the fact that you're going to be paying number 1 level prices for a player who is barely a number 3. Honestly, I think Lauri Markkanen.
Isn't that kind of in this world where you're not blowing it up? Ain't them the breaks, right?
I think that's the case in a world where you just gave away a quality number 2 or number 1 in De'Aaron Fox and got back probably a number 3 in Zach LaVine. Now you have to find some way to make up for that loss, which, Lauri Markkanen ain't it. I'm telling y'all right now. Lauri Markkanen is not.
He's not a bum, Kyle.
Lauri Markkanen, I kind of think of him the same way, same kind of category as Porzingis, which is if he's your number one, your team sucks. If he's your number two, your team is probably a play-in team. If he's your number three, you've got a decent team. And if he's your number 4 or 5, now we're cooking with something. But right now, he's the number one on the Jazz, and I just pulled up their game yesterday. They got smoked by the Rockets, gave up 140 points in the preseason. But he's also got wrist injury now, which could be fake. They already got fined for faking injuries last year. But he's also $45 million a year for the next 4 years with injury concerns. I just wouldn't touch that contract with a 10-foot pole unless I were getting not a negative asset, but unless I were getting something else in addition to it.
You know Danny ain't giving you nothing.
Probably not.
Danny is not giving you anything.
But Danny kind of messed this thing up.
But it's Zach LaVine, though.
Yeah, again, but that would be...
How important, that's the question. How valuable is it for Danny to get off those 2 years?
Yeah, I think that's a question that's probably for down the line for Utah, because they're probably still 2 years away. I mean, I'm just looking at their team. Keontae George is probably going to be pretty good. I do think he's good. Ace Bailey's supposed to be the guy.
He balled out. What was that, last night?
Yeah,
he balled out.
Ace Bailey killed it. They've got Taylor Hendricks coming back. He had a brutal injury last year, broken leg. We'll see. I think he's going to be good. He's a former lottery pick. Cody Williams, we agree, is trash.
Yeah, well, he could get better.
And not if Zach LaVine's on the team.
Yeah, that's true.
Zach LaVine's on the team. Goodbye, Cody Williams.
Could they just give us Cody Williams?
You want Cody Williams?
Yeah, just Jalen Williams' brother. Just bring him.
Whatever. He was taking pictures with the trophy last year because the family did the family photos after the championship.
Terrible.
Yeah, they got your guy Walter Clayton. But But again, it feels like they're still 2 years away.
Yeah, they're going to get another top pick this upcoming season.
Which that means it won't hurt to have Markkanen on the team at that deal if you're still 2 years away. The problem, though, is that they could have had Kuminga. They could have had Keegan Murray. They could have had
they
boatload
couldn't
of
have
draft
had Keegan
picks.
Murray.
Well, the Kings wouldn't give up, Keegan in that deal. But the idea was they could have gotten younger, cheaper, and opened up roster spots for players who fit the timeline better. And now they're stuck with Markkanen, benching him for tanking reasons.
If I remember correctly, because there was something going around that Podziemski was untouchable, and I had somebody text me because I was roasting, because I was in the middle of I'm in Sacramento era, and I started roasting the Warriors on social media, and I got a text from somebody very close to the Warriors organization, and they said, "Hey, you got it wrong." And I said, I'm just going off of what everybody is saying. I didn't create the report about Podziemski. And essentially, the idea was that Danny wanted Podziemski and Kuminga, which is kind of nuts. He's just tripping.
Yeah.
He's tripping. Now, I'm not that high on Podziemski, even though he says he's going to take the torch from Draymond and Steph. And he should feel like that. We have fun with Podziemski because he's got just more confidence than... Who's got more confidence? Brandon Podziemski or Devin Carter?
Well, I would have said Devin Carter, but I saw that Podziemski quote yesterday, and I'm like, Jesus, buddy.
Yeah. 916-339-1140. How you feeling about the Sacramento Kings when we return? Major League Baseball is off and running. Can the Phillies pull it off? That would be so sweet to see. Thursday Night Football is also upon us. Man, this is going to have to be surgical for Prop Talk. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here?
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-378-7241, 800-378-7241. Again, that's 800-378-7241.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's championship night at Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 11th. Pro late models, mini stocks, legends, pure stocks, and mini modifieds in an all-out war for the crown. Kids 10 and under are always free. Grab your crew and hit Stockton99.com for tickets and info. Then be there when the dust settles and legends are made.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Couple different opportunities for the Kings coming up. And it's all going to start tomorrow as they will be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. And at least it'll be on a Friday, so it'll be very hard for me to overreact. I can't overreact the next day because it's on the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be 48 hours.
That's right.
I guess more than that. What, 60 hours?
Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be tough sledding. And hopefully the Kings can just look better when that happens. I know there was practice today. That's why we did not have the full round table. So curious what we hear from Doug. And I know I said I'm done with the talk, but I'm more so interested in what the players have to say. What do you have to say for yourself, right? Not from the perspective of, whether or not you won or lost the game, but what happened? who kind of takes the reins, who takes control, who's going to be a leader in this moment, because I do think it sets the tone. Obviously, you're not playing for keeps right now, but I do think it sets the tone a little bit. I saw something that was pretty funny from our guy, Logical Raptors fan, and Logical Raptors fan says it would, not going to lie, a front court of Laurie, Domas, and Walker Kessler would be insane. Oh, that would be insane, but do you know what Danny Ainge would ask for to get Laurie and Walker Kessler? I mean, Keegan's gone. If they want Keon, which I don't even know if they want Keon just based on the young guards that they have, but Keegan's gone. Your next 8 first-round picks are gone. And now you would have the Kings that would be turning into a combination of the Bulls and the Jazz. That's not on paper. I guess on paper is better than in practice, because on paper, okay, cool, but you say that out loud and people would say, why don't you just do your own thing? Why don't you just start from scratch and do your own thing? And I think it would be nice, the same way, we talk about the A's and the Giants on this show. So many teams that we're watching right now, they got these young studs coming up, or they have the superstar. They have the current superstar. And if you're the Dodgers, you get both, because that's just how it is. And the Giants, we're going to see what happens with Bryce Eldridge, but that's the first time the Giants have had something like that from the player position in a very long time. The A's, they got a couple guys that we think are going to be nice like that, right? I mean, Nick Kurtz, he came right on up, and he was hitting home runs everywhere, the big Amish. Jacob Wilson, friend of the show. And there's something to be said about having young guys that you believe will be carrying the torch for the next phase of your organization. Whether that next phase is next season, in 2 seasons, or in 5 seasons. And you look around at the Kings roster, and Nick Clifford is going to be a solid player. He's going to be an NBA player, but he's 23 years old. I don't know how high the ceiling is. He's going to be a good player in this league, don't get me wrong, but any hope for stars, right? And this is going to make some Giants fans wince here, but the Joey Barts and the Marco Lucianos, it didn't work out, but you had somebody in the pipeline. And baseball's obviously different because you got too many guys in the pipeline, too many saviors. But the Kings, they have nobody in the lottery pipeline, right? The lottery of this guy could change our lives. You go and you play the Powerball, whatever you play, and I like the Powerball the best because I feel like, well, Schmallen does, because you can get a couple bucks back if you hit the Powerball at the very least. But whatever you play, it's your chance to change your life. The same way a player that could change the course of your franchise. That's not to say that it's going to happen. Ask my father, who's played, he's probably given up about $300K to the lottery.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. I'm doing the math here.
Could have sent a grandchild to college.
If I'm 35 and he's been playing that bad boy probably prior to me being born.
What, once a week?
I think he's in there once a week.
He could have sent a grandbaby to college.
Hey, he could have won too. He just didn't. And he still could. And he'd get all that money back.
Still got 16 years.
Yeah, you can still continue to do it. So you look around at some of these other teams in any sport, really. That's my problem with the dang Raiders. No lottery ticket, nothing. The Giants are going to play tonight. They might get their butts whooped, but they feel like they got a lottery ticket in Jackson Dart and a psychopath in Cam Scatteraboo, who everybody loves.
Oh, a Sacramento psychopath right
That's
there.
right.
But I guess the one part, though, is like, yes, obviously they don't have an Evan Mobley, but do they even have like an Asar Thompson on this team? Like someone who you just think could be...
Is that Neek? Probably Neek.
I mean, but Asar Thompson is like 2 years younger than Neek.
No, I don't. Yeah.
And
I'm at Keon?
Maybe.
Keon.
It's Keon or Keegan.
It's Keon or Keegan.
And Keegan
those guys are both 25.
And Keegan was a top 5 pick. So, of course, Keegan is supposed to be the one.
That's why we talked about this last week, where the Kings, this upcoming draft, whether they get let's run Tankathon right now, Kyle. I'm going to run it. It's been sitting here. Come on! Stop playing with me! Stop playing with me! With the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select whoever they want, but they better be younger than 22.
AJ DeBanza, baby.
So with that being said, obviously, this is something that's possible for the Kings. Utah finally they got the second pick in this draft, so they would get a good player too.
They want DeBanza.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. The crazy story of the Jazz owner paid for his private school, and now he's at BYU.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. He's from Massachusetts, by the way.
They want him bad.
They've been trying to get this guy for literally years.
So wherever that pick is, whether you have the first pick or whether you end up 8th or 9th, I believe you have to get someone that is a lottery ticket. I would say you got to go high ceiling here. You have a young high ceiling player. You cannot play it safe because all these teams are in 2 categories. They have a lottery ticket, or they're the Thunder and they have everything. But they have both. They have both. But you have a lottery ticket and you're hoping that it cashes out soon, or you're already doing well for yourself, and that is the equivalent of being a playoff team. The Rockets are weird because they have some young talent too, but the Nuggets, right? The Timberwolves, okay? The Clippers, the Lakers, and Luke is a lottery ticket, so it's a little bit of hybrid there. But you see my point. The Kings don't have either. They're not competing right now, and they don't have a lottery ticket, which is why I will not ever fault Scott Perry. Look, a lot of people on social media, and there's analytics, Kyle's nerd friends, okay, that don't like Kuminga, how Kuminga plays or whatever, that's fine. But you get to a point where if you don't see a path to get that lottery ticket, you have to make a decision on some type of way to get there. And that's what Scott Perry and the crew were attempting to do this offseason, because you have to have something. You cannot, and to Chris's point, Chris Watkins, who joined us, you can check that out, Sactown Sports app on the YouTube as well as the TuneIn app. You cannot just be losing games with no lottery ticket and no future in sight.
I will say, though, those are the most likely examples because there are exceptions, right? Everyone wants to be the team who drafts a player who is an all-star in the middle or late first round, right? Or everyone wants to find the next Jokic or Giannis or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And those aren't necessarily quote-unquote lottery picks. For example, Kings got Tyrese Halliburton. That was the 12th pick in the draft, right? Everyone dreams of getting the next great star player at the 12th pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. And a few of those will come up. I think of Maxey with the Sixers, right? The Sixers were win now, but they also got Maxey with the 20th pick, and so that helped their future kind of situation. Everyone wants to be that team, but not everyone's going to be able to draft and develop those guys because everyone's trying to find that guy.
Yeah. From the 916, I think this is a great point. The Kings front office is so annoying. All we talk about is the next trade for the next young could-be star. We have Keegan, and instead of developing him, we're keeping old dudes who hog his shots and talk about trading him. There's a reason every team wants to trade for Keegan. And I think that's a great point from the 916. Look, we were the ones that were surprised, right, that they decided to continue on with DeMar DeRozan. Whatever discussion was held, they decided to keep that going. And we'll see what happens at the trade deadline. But I think you're right, 916. You do have somebody in Keegan, and a lot of fans don't think Keegan is that guy, but he hasn't got the best opportunity to be so, and we're seeing Keegan have to kind of take the bull by the horns this season, and we'll see if it continues. But, yeah, good call from the 916. We got Henry Turner, the high flyer, in the building, as well as Whitey Gleason, of course, to take us up to 2 o'clock, and then the Drive guys will take over. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry, not that kind of pros, as in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months, they want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping 1 day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's 1 day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex Decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
Whitey Gleason, Henry Turner, high flyer, here for the next 15 minutes.
Little musical geography lesson for you, huh, Alan?
That's right. Hey, yeah. I'm always, I'm a sponge. I'm always trying to learn. Guys, we're going to do our prop talk, and then I got some very, very important stuff to talk to you about, okay? You know me. You know I overreact. So this was a huge day for me. Preseason game number 1. Oh, my goodness. The quickest 4 hours I've been a part of. Kyle, let's get prop talk going. So let me start here with prop talk. Kyle and I have been talking about this because we've been on a heater. I know I did not. Yeah, I know I did not help y'all out with the Etienne receiving yards on Monday, but besides that, we've been good. Kyle did take care of you. This is a tough game tonight.
I did what?
This is a tough game tonight. Divisional game. I don't know what Jackson Dart is. He runs around a lot. This is a tough one, but we're trying to be surgical and win you some cash for some diapers or whatever you got to buy. All right, Kyle, starting with you. Who do you have tonight for Prop Talk?
Well, in this truly disgusting game between the Eagles and the Giants, I'm going to be a homer and take Cam Skattebo, Sacramento's own. He's at 48.5 rushing yards tonight. He's hit the over in each of his last 3 games.
Oh, Kyle.
Are they playing against the best defense in the NFL? Yes, but...
And they're probably going to be trailing. You know what? Your journey.
Yep. Trailing with Cam Skattebo? Yeah, you must be crazy.
Okay.
Not when you've got real into zone Cam Skattebo.
No, I do not do running back rushing yards, but that's what Kyle's got for you.
Also, 2.5 receptions if you want to try that.
I would, yes. I'm. You know me, I love my receiver or my running back receiving yards. You know, Kyle, I'm torn between the tight end receiving yards and my bread and butter. Look, he didn't get me right, and this guy has been crazy receiving the football, so it's a little scary. But he had 58 receiving yards against the Broncos. He had 31 against the Buccaneers. This one has been my bread and butter a lot. Saquon Barkley, 17.5 receiving yards. I know I do the same thing every single time, but you're crazy if I think I'm taking one of these receivers today. I have no clue what these receivers are going to do. So I'm playing it safe, Kyle. 17.5, Saquon Barkley. Hopefully I don't get burned.
Wasn't he questionable earlier this week, too?
Okay, well, if he's questionable,
he's not on the injury.
Up the G-man.
He's not on the injury report.
It's you know what? And that's why you should probably do the rushing yards because it's a revenge game. Whitey is correct. So I would do something with Saquon. How about that? Yeah. And if you're looking at the Giants, because they'll probably be trailing and they have to throw the ball, young quarterbacks seem to really like tight ends. So I take a look at Theo Johnson at 30.5. Good luck out there. And always, if we end up being right, you're welcome. If I end up being wrong, it was Kyle's fault. Okay, we are joined by Henry Turner, the high flyer, and Whitey Gleason. And guys, I mean, this was quite the game yesterday. Let's start with you, Whitey.
You should start with the flyer. He did the post game last night. He was there.
Okay, so here's the thing, high flyer.
Uh-huh.
My initial thought is that you are going to say, hey, it's preseason, right? Obviously, these are practice games, scrimmages, if you will. And I'm curious, did you have any takeaways, or are you just looking at this, Allen? It's their first time getting on the court together. Let's not do this.
No, I would have to say that I was a little disappointed.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought that new team, new regime, new coach, full camp, everybody's healthy. The mantra of Doug Christie is we're getting after it. Okay, the insight from Scott Perry is we're all going to buy in. We're all going to be one. And for them to come out and play the way that they did, it didn't reflect on what everybody's been preaching.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? Chris Watkins was in here, and I thought the funny thing was Doug said they only guarded 94 feet 30% of the time. And I said, maybe I was changing diapers. I didn't even see 30% of the time. And what's funny to me is Dennis Schroeder was kind of the main guy that they've been preaching in that. What am I missing where Doug wouldn't just be on the sideline and say, hey, Dennis, we're guarding 94 feet, right? What am I missing there? Why wouldn't he just say something? I don't know.
I think Henry could speak to this, I'm sure. It has to be something that you're doing without the coach always saying, go, go, go. I think that's what Doug's getting at.
He shouldn't have to tell you.
When it becomes a team's mentality, the coach doesn't have to, hey, get up there. And they're a long ways from that. I thought, and I believe this is something Henry said in the postgame. I didn't hear it, but I know that he said it. I thought Toronto played exactly the way Doug Christie says he wants the Kings to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you want to play up-tempo both ends of the floor. One team did it last night, but they were wearing red.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that when Toronto hit the floor, they were missing a couple of their main guys. Scotty Barnes
yeah.
wasn't in uniform, and the big fella too. He wasn't even in uniform either.
Jakob Purtle?
Yeah, Jakob Purtle. Neither one of those guys were in uniform, so B.I. was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out and showed who he was in that first quarter.
Yeah.
And, being a player myself, I understand that preseason. You come out and you say, okay, first quarter, I'm lighting them up. I'm not playing second and third quarter. I don't care what happened, but I'm going to go out there and do what I do, and you're going to know who I am. I honestly thought that Keegan Murray played decent to me. I thought he played very well on the defensive side. When you talk about trying to set a tone, and when you speak about the verbal communication between Doug and Schroeder, it really shouldn't have to even be said. Schroeder's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He knows. If Doug has to teach him how to be a point guard, we got the wrong point guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Schroeder knows better. I think a lot of players are guilty of doing this, Allen. When you come to a new team, you don't want to be that overbearing leader.
It was like we saw it with Zach last
Same
year.
thing. You don't want to be that overbearing leader because you can either galvanize the guys, which you would need to have a bunch of veterans to understand who you are and what you bring to the show, or you're going to lose a bunch of players because they're going to be like, yo, bro, you just got here.
Yeah.
So, I would take the latter side of that too, the easy route. Same thing what Zach did. I'm going to try to fit in. I'm going to try to be a piece of the puzzle instead of saying, hey, y'all got rid of De'Aaron, number one guy. I'm the number one guy replacing him. Y'all get on board with me. You can't come in and do that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And to what you're saying, Whitey, it's not a play, right? It's not college. Hey, what is it? West Virginia. We're gonna blitz you every single time. That this is supposed to be a part of the culture. I mean, to the Raptors' point of it, Kyle and I were going back and forth. We saw the Raptors set at 38.5, and I said, "Whoa, 4 more wins than the Kings. I know they're on the East." And then I saw them play last night, and I thought, okay, I think, because Kyle said, I think that's spot on, and no way.
There's a lot of people. It's still probably a minority opinion, but I think there's a lot of people. I don't know what you're hearing, but some people around the league say that team could be a playoff team in the East.
Yeah.
The East is so wide open. We'll see. They got a lot of things they got to figure out, but last night they looked like that team that some people are saying, oh, in the wide open East, they could make some noise.
What I will say about Toronto, fellas, like I said, number one, I was impressed on how they played. But when you went down their roster, all the guys that really got you saying, wasn't on the floor. Like I said, B.I. was the only one that was on the floor, all right? But what I did like about them is that every last one of their guys pressured the Sacramento Kings beyond the three-point line. Sabonis couldn't catch the ball at the top of the key and just look and be able to pick and choose where he wanted to pass the ball. The defender was over him like a cheap suit.
Why didn't the Kings go backdoor more often?
Everybody just stood around because they were getting pressured.
Yeah.
And when they did go backdoor, they got something good.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they were just trying to run the offense.
Yeah.
And the way and the way the Raptors were pressuring them,
they were pushing them out.
They were pushing them out further
Yeah.
and further and further. And then when you got a bunch of guys that's 6'7", 6'8", long, lean, athletic freaks, they might not be the best one-on-one defenders, but when you got everybody doing it, of course, you're going to get some deflections. Yeah. You're going to get your hands on some balls. You're going to get some turnovers. Then you get out in transition and get easy buckets. It's going to make you look like a much better ball club.
Yeah, they got another shot at it tomorrow, and against another team that prides themselves, another younger team that prides themselves on defense in the Portland
team.
Trailblazers. So this is not going to get easier for the Kings. I did ask Chris Watkins something, and he didn't think so off the top of his head, but you alluded to it, High Flyer. Did the Kings seem small? Do they seem small? Chris said no. And I think, to your point, it's not that they're small. It's just the same old thing with what De'Aaron Fox wanted, what everybody wanted, that just throw a couple 6'7", 6'8" dudes in there to give them a little bit more optionality, and they don't have that.
You know, you really can't say they don't have that because Eubanks came in and played well defensively. You know, he had a couple of block shots. Like I said, Keegan Murray played well defensively. You know what Keon Ellis brings, all right? You know, Schroeder's supposed to be the head of the snake on the defensive side.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Everybody has to be on a string. You can't have Schroeder pressing up to say full court, right? I mean, he's on his guy full court, turning him, and this guy can easily pass the ball to the forward, and the offense gets started because the other two guys aren't pressuring their men.
Yeah.
That's null and void. I don't care what you do. You can look great bringing it up. You hounding this guy, but once he makes that pass, and it's an easy pass, it's like, bro, come on, man. I did all this work.
Pressure broken.
And he get to catch it like that. Pressure's broken.
You know what? That is so true. Because even in pickup, when it's game point, right? And then he just passes it around, then they get started.
But which guy are you? I know you're not.
No. You know I'm slapping the floor. You know I'm slapping the floor, Whitey. Don't play with me like that. Whitey Gleason, Henry, the high flyer Turner coming up. Jay Johnson, of course. Thanks to all the callers, sexers, sack shouters. Thanks to Chris Watkins for joining us as well. Kyle Lederberg, great job as always. Until tomorrow, secure the bed. Like the beam.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.